You are watching the ChumpCar World Series broadcast, ChumpCast Live. Hi everyone, welcome back. We are here live. It's the ChumpCar Sebring 14 at Sebring International Raceway. Paul Velton with Doc Waldrop of Brew Crew Racing, Bill Strong, here with you today as we count down the 14 hours of Sebring. Please head over to our YouTube channel, ChumpCar World Series, and subscribe to our channel today.
That was a pretty cool interview with Randy Popes there.
Yes, it was. Well done. Thanks, Bill, for that. So we're on board now with KSR again, who are leading this race right now.
World Series.
And it looks like the Aquafy team that was broadcasting, that we were going to hook up with them, have turned off their broadcast, so they might be done for the night. Or they've killed power, we don't know which. Thanks for joining us on Facebook Live, folks. We appreciate that. Sorry we had to break away there for a little bit. We're up against a 240-minute limit that Facebook still enforces. I'm sure someday we won't have to worry about that. Someday, like, same thing as YouTube used to have a limit on how big the video. I can remember when a YouTube video could only be 15 minutes. 5 minutes, then 15 minutes, and now you can put a huge one on it. They don't seem to have a limit. I mean, they put up with us, so. And we've got, I've got 8-hour segments that I put out there. I think the biggest video I put up was, I think I did a 14. So I don't even know what the limit is with YouTube.
There are no limits.
In racing.
That sounded so altruistic, didn't it?
Yes.
Is that a word?
And we love it. So cameras we have currently running right now. We've got the flat out guys, obviously. What else do we got? We've got Bucket List. Here's those guys. We got, see if Flailing Miata is currently up.
Speaking of flailing, how are you doing, Paul?
I'm holding up. How about you?
I'm hanging in there. Raided the refrigerator. All I could find is beer or a juice box.
Yeah. We've got Never Start Racing here. And they're Neon.
I'm holding up okay.
Yeah, you're having all the fun out there.
Just walk 3 flights of stairs to get up here in the air conditioner.
Bill, my favorite moment of tonight's broadcast was you.
That's good.
Got rid of the glare.
What was your favorite moment?
The interview with Whit Staples. That was so funny.
The pre-interview?
Yes, the pre-interview.
Yeah, sorry. You guys, you need to let me know when you can hear me, because I cuss a lot in real life.
Well, your phone is like turning your mic on and off like 1,000 times, so I can't even keep up with it.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I got to fix that. This is a little different setup than we normally use, and I just picked it up at work, so I'm using it.
So, yeah, we're just checking out cameras here. So there's our front straightaway cam. Looks like that one's a little bit stuck right now. We'll come back to that.
Wait,
Turn
which
17.
one?
The one that's looking at the start-finish line.
Well, there's nothing going on there. There's a person walking.
On the front straightaway?
Yeah. Not on the straightaway, but on the pit lane.
No, it's looking at the front straightaway and the pit lane, I believe.
Hey, guess who's joined us there, Bill?
All right. Hold on. I stopped it and restarted, so let's see what happens. So what, Doc?
Guess who joined us on Facebook?
Morris said?
No, your buddy Tyler.
I don't know any Tylers. I do not know any Tylers.
Tyler's dead to him.
Tyler is dead to me. I do like his wife, though. She's pretty nice. She's really sweet. Looks really good in a bikini. Thank you for those pictures.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought Tyler
Wow.
was pretty tight.
You know, well, you used to be.
Probably
Tyler's bikini pictures I didn't really want to see, but hey, you know.
We were closer. Maybe it's because I haven't returned his 15-inch tires and wheels to him.
Yeah, that could do it too. But I owe Derek some wheels and tires too. I completely forgot about that. He's going to be calling in just a few minutes. Thanks for reminding him of that.
He's probably talking to Amy right now.
Yeah, he's saying hi to her. That's all right. I'm mowing his grass when I leave here tomorrow morning.
Oh.
Dasha said, "Come over, mow the grass." I said, "All right." All right, what do we got going on here on these cameras? Okay, so we have a back straight camera on 6 that's, that you can see it. Cool. Is that camera working there, Paulie? The front straight one?
Yeah.
On?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I just needed started, stopped, and sometimes it needs a kick start.
Greg Craddock, Greg's one of the drivers of Ella, the e-racing car.
Right.
Saying that Hunter was in the car when they caught fire.
Well, Hunter was a spry young man. He got out of that car pretty darn quick. He says his recollections of timing seemed a lot longer than what we saw. So he was in and out, or he was out of that car pretty darn quick. And yep, he did good. Lost you.
No, we got you.
Oh, okay. Whew.
We can't seem to shake you, Bill.
You can't what?
We can't seem to shake you.
Nah, it doesn't go well. That's my wife. All right, so we have. So I was struggling with my walk back from climbing up all those stairs on that really high ladder observation deck, and I'm thinking that the cars in the lead, there's some similarities. They're all straight 6s. This track likes horsepower and handling. Some track where horsepower does really well. There's some tracks handling does really well. This likes all of that, and it's different than most tracks. You really have to have a soft suspension, so the car doesn't get beat up, but it needs to hold that car onto the track. What do you guys think about that? I mean, a car can win. I mean, the Porsches do well here. The BMWs do well. The Lexus are pretty bulletproof because they're just pretty bulletproof cars.
Well, I mean, if I was going to talk to anybody, I'd certainly talk to the KSR folks, and I'd talk to the Jackie X guys.
You know, I'd love to get KSR out west or out, other places, not just here in Florida. I'd like to see how they do at some of these other races.
Well, when we make them famous, they'll be able to afford things like that.
No, they can come out. They just have to find the time. Kevin's a two-man shop, so.
Right.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
2 plus himself.
As much as we'd all love to shut down our businesses and go racing, oftentimes it's the racing that keeps our business alive. So,
yep.
It's kind of a double-edged sword there.
Some of us can't retire and then go racing.
Some of us are going to retire very soon.
Yeah, but we can't go racing.
So, Bill, are you near the pits?
No, I'm actually up in the tower.
Well, we're coming up on the final 2 hours, if my math is any good. This will be the last big pit stop, so might want to have you down there.
Yes, I'm going.
Thanks, man.
All right, I'm going to turn off my I'm going to turn off the phone, and I'm going to put race monitor on this. Can you? No, never mind. I'm going to get a different phone. I'm going to call you on that, I think.
All right,
or
man.
Get a different phone and put race monitor on it. Sorry, I'm just talking.
Okay.
So evidently, according to Greg, that they've got some great in-car video from the whole incident with Ella and e-racing.
Okay. Yeah, folks, we're coming up on the final 2-hour stint here. We've got 2 hours and 11 minutes remaining in this race, so we should see teams starting to come in the next 4 or 5 minutes, 10 minutes, somewhere in that frame. We're going to start seeing all of our leaders come in.
They all stopped at about 7.
Well, they're going to stretch this out. They don't want to come in at 2 hours and 10 minutes. They want to come in and, bleed off that 5 minutes in the pits so they don't run up against that 2-hour maximum they're allowed to have a guy in the car, right?
Absolutely.
So they're going to do fuel saving, whatever they have to do so that they don't come in too soon. They want to make sure they leave the pits at the 2-hour mark if possible.
Thanks, Jimmy. Jimmy said, great production, great racing. We would certainly have to agree with you on the great racing. And as JR pointed out with that Lexus, they got a big fuel tank, good power, good handling, and with KSR, good drivers, plus Randy Coke. Yeah, that sounds like a winning combination.
Well, it sure does. You take a look at what Randy's done, the accomplishments that he's had alone, and then you have someone like him, a road course racing champion, come on board with your team who already has good drivers, already has good cars, and feed into your team. It's, well, only good things can happen.
Yeah, that's pretty much a win-win situation.
So we started today's race with over 60 cars. We would have had more, of course, but as a result of the terrible storm that devastated the state of Florida just 2 weeks ago, many teams that were set up to come out here this weekend had to withdraw. And
well, we picked up some teams too. So
we picked up a few, but of course it's understandable. We had a lot of teams that had to bow out, as they, of course, we're at a Florida race. We're in the middle of Florida. A lot of our Florida race teams come to this race naturally, and so we wish you a speedy recovery as you work to get things put back together, and look forward to seeing you at future races. As we said earlier in the broadcast, we will be back here again later this year in December, so we hope to see you here then.
Yeah, and that 2-week time period, I don't know how a lot of teams operate, but those last 2 weeks before a race are usually kind of critical, I would think, at least in my experiences. That's when you're starting to get your logistics together, who's getting to the track when, who's doing this, who's doing that, who's, and final prep on the car. We try and do about 6-7 races a year. It looks like this year we're going to do 5, but they're pretty well spread out in the East, where you can do a race about every 2 months. So we kind of do one right in the middle of that time period. And then, but those last 2 weeks, if you notice something maybe in that, in that refurbishment of the car and changing fluids and stuff like that, you get the parts in and they come in. So that generally happens in those last 2 weeks. And again, you're trying to figure out the logistics. All right, when are you leaving to get to the track? Do you have your hotel and reservation and that sort of thing? So a lot of the logistics start to come in those 2 weeks. So that's probably what caught several of those teams out, is they've got people dealing with their own emergencies, and your family's got to come first.
Yep, that's the way it is. So we've seen car number 412 being black flagged for lighting malfunction, so they'll be brought in to deal with that. 412 level 1 racing, unfortunately, our 5th place team right now in that Miata, being called in for lights that aren't functioning where they're supposed to. So obviously you have to have headlights working, you have to have tail lights working, you have to have at least 2 brake lights working. Is that right, Doc? Does that sound right to you?
That is correct.
So if you have a 3rd brake light, you just need 2 of the 3, as I understand it.
Yeah, so a lot of people, a lot of us drive an older model car that might not have that center brake light. So we added one in case our car gets taken out. We've still got the requisite 2 lights. So that level 1 racing getting called in, that's going to hurt them. They've got the Team Infinity is on the same lap as them.
Right.
And if it takes any more than 3 laps, they're going to go yet another lap down to our 9th. Race Heroes not giving the correct order, but it's got weird numbers out to the left.
Yeah, the level 1 racing and Team Infinity.
On my application on your screen, Paul, it's correct, and that is Team Infinity right there in front.
Yeah,
you can tell by that red vertical stripe is actually an edge piece of plexiglass in the shape of the shark fin.
Well, that's going to mean that level 1 racing is just up ahead of them because there's only a 7-second gap between the two. So yes, Team Infinity is going to overtake them as they go into the pits to deal with this lighting violation.
I don't see how you could be out there without lights anyway.
Well, again, as we said earlier, it could be something as simple as only one taillight working.
Right, yeah, we don't know exactly what it is.
So we'll try to keep an eye out for that to see if we can discover what's going on. In the meantime, Bill is working his way down to the pits as we prepare for the final big pit stop of this race at the 10-hour mark. And there goes one of the cars now across pit road. Man, what's that down at the bottom of the screen there?
That's another car.
629. You know, it's just that color of orange reminds me of that Mustang, and I was like, those guys packed it in.
It's not 629 hit and run racing because they've got that old style gasser hood scoop on top of their car to shovel some air into the driver.
Going down pit lane was the number 22.
Thanks, Bill.
22. Oh, that's a propaganda car.
So, folks, this is going to be the big one here as we get ready for this final pit stop. This is going to mean so much for these front runners. This is when everything really needs to go smoothly for them. They're not going to have a chance to dig themselves out of any kind of deficit or problem that takes place on pit road due to a mistake. Everybody's tired, and this is when the mistakes can crop up. So Bill's going to be down the pits. We'll see what happens. It should be pretty interesting. Stay with us as we go back to that here shortly. You are watching the ChumpCar World Series broadcast, ChumpCast Live. We are live here at the ChumpCar Sebring 14 at Sebring International Raceway as we call the 14-hour endurance race today in Sebring, Florida. Welcome back, everybody, to Florida. It's been a pretty great race, really, as far as I think the coverage has been even better than the racing. We've had some great interviews. Bill's been able to talk to some people, and it's probably the best part of racing is the people.
Oh, yeah.
And we've had a chance to talk to many of the drivers and teams this weekend, and we're going to get a chance to talk to them some more after the race. Bill will be able to interview.
That's that 412 car that was being flagged for a lighting violation is in pit row right now.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have interviews with the teams at the end of the race.
Thanks,
that are
Kevin.
in impound. And we'll also be visiting the award ceremony. We'll get to see that as well.
Yeah.
So here's a view at the front straightaway. Just a section of the pits. Some tracks are easier to get good pit road coverage. Others not so much because the easy ups get in the way.
Track that we can't get that camera spread out.
Yeah, we need to get the cameras pointed in opposite directions, and we need to be like at Gingerman. You're right up on top of, you're right on top of the pits. When the towers kind of step back a little ways, then the easy ups get in the way, and you really can't see too much.
Yeah, I think
we had that problem at VIR.
Probably had was Watkins Glen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had some great ones. That's just challenges. We'll gradually overcome that stuff. That looks like a Miata.
Yeah, that's probably the Miata, the 412 that was called in for the violation.
Well, that's the reason I wanted to focus on that shot. I was hoping we could catch them as they were heading out. So hopefully they got that taken care of and they can get back out there without losing a whole lot. They're going to go down a spot. I'm looking at timing and scoring, though. Surprisingly, I'm not seeing a change yet. Let's see, Team Infinity shown 9 seconds down that last lap. It must be the way that where they're tripping the timer loop, but I would have thought that would have been at the start-finish. I'm not going to try and overthink this. We'll just see what happens as they come by next time around.
No, it's the timing finish line. I mean, for all we know, Team Infinity may be in the pits right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to get called into the pits, you know, for a lighting violation, that was the perfect time for 412 because he's going to have to make a stop for fuel anyway and a driver change with 2 hours to go. So
yeah, I wouldn't have gone back out. I would have gone ahead and done everything. Here you see one of the cars diving into the pits just now.
Well, and he might have, Paul, although he didn't seem like he was in there very long.
And it maybe we were looking at the wrong car, too.
That is entirely possible.
So we're going to go to Bill Strong's camera down in the pits as soon as he's in position right now. Looks like his camera is up, but let's see. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, I'm here. I just turned the sound off.
All right, Bill. So there's the 808 car.
Standing down here. I did some phone switching, and we're all set up for this final stop.
Cool.
Seeing him any minute now.
So we're just waiting for our leader to come in.
Sorry. All my wires just got all wound up. There we go. All right, we're back. So, the only team that's getting ready right now is the Jackie X team. They're getting their helmets together. Kevin Smith Racing, their driver has his helmet on, and he's sitting down in pit lane.
The rest of them won't be far behind. We've seen
the 9.4 guys are getting their stuff together too. What place is a 9.4 car in?
Nine-4?
You know, I can.
You mean
9.4 Motorsports?
I can look this stuff up.
They're in P4, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So, folks, what we're doing here. Try and get the volume turned down. What we're doing here is down the lower segment of the screen, you're seeing the in-car feed from our leader. That is the KSR Flat Out Racing team. The feed's not quite as good as the feed you're used to seeing, but we're going to see them come into the pits soon, and Bill will be able to follow them as they come in as well. Along with everything else that Bill's doing, we'll be able to see this in-car view. He said with complete confidence.
Jeff Burdett commented that maybe the hurricanes helped blow all the love bugs away because he's surprised at how good the windshields look. And I couldn't agree with you more.
Well, I just walked through a whole bunch of them, so they're here.
They're here, huh?
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'll be right back.
difference between place 8 and 7 is 0.128 seconds.
All right, I'm back with you, folks.
Yeah, they're running pretty close, aren't they there, Bill?
Yeah, everybody else is, there's laps between.
We're getting a report that car 150 is in the pits with a bad oil leak. Did you catch that?
I just saw that.
Yeah. And car 150, that was, isn't
That's
that
the Mercedes?
Yeah, that's the Mercedes. We were talking to those guys earlier.
Andrew Marsh wants to know what is Larian Steel. Let's see if we can find that out for you there. And we're up here, they're running up in the top 15. Yeah, they're in 14th place right now.
All right,
So
the Jackie X car is coming down pit lane. Oh, maybe not. That's a shark car. They're in the top 10.
Yep, that's the Infinity car. So that's 6th spot right there. Just went by Bill. And they are leading D class. That was 6th position overall, first in D class.
Yeah, we have emergency personnel on pit lane. Here comes the 66 car.
All right.
Third place.
So there's 3rd place, the Jackie Aches team machine. In for their pit stop. We're waiting for the KSR team to come in for their final pit stop. They're probably going to stay out as long as they can and hope for a yellow. And they are still on track at this time. So we haven't seen Cone Crushers come through yet. Or 9-4 Motorsports. They should be coming in shortly.
How much time is left in the race?
Well, 1 hour and 53 minutes. Unofficially.
Well, that's perfect timing.
Yeah, so here's the notes I have on my little lap chart that I keep, Paul. The leaders last pitted at 7:04 p.m. So they've got a couple of minutes to play with, not much.
Right. So that's what the strategists are doing. They're going to run it right to the minute.
The super guys are sitting on their wall. They're getting ready to go out. And here they come.
Yep, they're flagging down their man right now.
Oh, no, that's the Cone Crushers.
All right.
We're walking down there now.
All right, Bill.
Kind of nice of him. Their driver obviously turned off the lights so he doesn't blind his crew members coming in.
Plus, he's forced to hit the kill switch in order to do the fuel fill.
They're popping the hood on the car.
He's got a handheld flashlight. I do the same thing that Bill does. I put one of those Harbor Freight flashlights up on the roof of the car, shining down into the driver's lap so we can see those belts at night.
Yeah, I had rigged up something in one of the cars that I did a build on.
We have an LED. There goes JD Bugs. They're on their way out of the pit lane.
All right. So if you're just joining us,
Harbor Freight LEDs.
Folks, if you're just joining us here, we're just coming up. This is the closing 2 hours of the race here. This is that 2 hour window when we're going to see a lot of pit stops, our leaders. And the car down below in the graphic that you're seeing, it's still on track. Now they're coming into the pits now. That is our leader, Bill. So our leader is coming into the pits, picking up their clock right now. They should be coming towards you. And they're going to be right where you're standing, if memory serves.
So you should move, in other words.
So JKS is coming in. Cone Crushers is right there, taking
KSR.
fuel. Oh, excuse me, KSR. I keep doing that. Sorry about that. Yeah, keep me honest here.
KSR right there. The 9.4 SC is in as well, or Super is in as well.
Cool. So here we've got first, second,
There's the Super back there.
third, and fourth, all right together here.
Jackie X guys are, they have the car up on jack stands. I don't know why. Oh, they're changing the front tire. Front left.
Team Jackie Yakes has time to deal with this. There's a 6-lap gap for them to get to second, a 2-lap gap for them to fall behind into fourth. So they have time to deal with this appropriately. They're not going to lose anything. And this is our leader here right now. As they're getting a driver tucked in. Looks like they're working with the belts, perhaps. Taking fuel.
Yep.
See that hood taped down?
Yep. Now this is a situation where the person helping the driver get in, their visor is up, and they're taking fuel. And that's not, you're not supposed to do that. But what he's done is he's raised his visor because he can't see. He's got a tinted visor, and didn't take that into account that he was going to be helping the entering driver and have to have his visor down.
That's Philippe right there in the light blue shirt.
So they're going to check the oil real quick. Okay, they're going to have to put oil in it.
He's probably still got some time on the clock.
Yeah. You know, they can burn off a good 3, 4 to 5 minutes here and still be all right beyond their 5-minute window.
Yeah.
So they're okay.
Kevin San Diego wants to know what was the car number of that fast Mercedes. That was the 150 car, I believe.
Yeah, so if you didn't hear that, that's the 150 car. 150 is the Mercedes. Gonna double check the oil.
9th place. They had to change the front brake pads. Or no, that was the Lincoln Felter car. My bad.
Yep. Well, the Mercedes, I think the Mercedes, didn't the Mercedes have the same problem? Whatever the case may be, they've got that car out there. So this is your leader right now. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on Facebook Live. Please like and share our page, our coverage, rather.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
There is Cone Crushers, the second place team, rolling out. Now they are passing the leader here, but they're down 3 laps, so it's probably not going to play into the finish of the race as far as position.
Saw the gentleman right there checking the egg timer. Looks like he's going to add some tape to something.
There's 9.4 Motorsports powering up. Currently in 4th spot.
Like KSR is getting everything fired up. There you go.
They cut him loose just in front of the Supra.
That should be a pretty good race.
that's it as far as pit stops, folks.
Now
Now
it is, as they say, in the hands of the driver to go out there and do due diligence, do their job, and bring those cars home safe. And we'll take a look at the running order as we come around, but we expect nothing to change in the top 4. And we're not sure what's going to happen with 5 and 6. It looks like they haven't changed. I'm not understanding why level 1 still has.
I don't
unless
think that
they both came in together and we just didn't see it.
Well, that Mazda Miata that we saw leaving the pits, that was a blue car, and the level 1 Mazda Miata is a black car. So I don't think we saw the right car coming in with that headlight problem.
Right. Well. So it is as it is from 5th on down, most likely, and we'll keep an eye on things. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of changes as teams still come in to do their pit stops.
And you see up there those cars highlighted in the salmon color. That salmon color will go away once they cross the start-finish line. Yep, Team Jackie X went out first of that group, so they went white, which means they're circulating back on the track.
Up a little bit of crew instruction there. I was trying to listen in and see if we could hear what they were talking about.
Racing. Yeah, it's fun to listen in when you can hear them.
No. There seems to be a lot of noise in the cockpit for some reason.
I don't think that car runs any Lexan inside.
I'm being silly.
This might be the Aquabike.
I think this is the butt crack team. I think it kind of looks like that sign. I know Bill likes him, so I'm thinking he's standing down there. But looks like the number 74 in the pits. That's the Treasure Coast Miata team with the door open there. I could be wrong on that. It sort of looks like a 74 there.
.970.
So there's the 970 car. So this is the Oder Motorsport or Oder Motor Group.
Nissan 300 ZX.
Yeah.
Pretty popular car nowadays.
Seems to be.
You know a lot of teams that are building cars right now. Bill's even said he knows a couple of teams that are building them, or those SC300s.
Yeah, we have one of our teammates with Derek, DDR Racing. He's building an SC300. He's got, I think he's putting like 15-inch wide tires on the car. It's pretty wild.
15-inch wide?
15-inch,
That's
yeah, they're
wide.
huge. All four corners.
That's pretty wide.
I don't think he's going to use them in the rain, though. So, speaking of GeorgiaLawnEquipment.com, who is the 970 sponsor, who didn't get to mow their grass today because either weather or watching our race cast? Is this thing on?
Yeah, it's on.
Tightening down. It looks like lights. Maybe a ground. They're running aftermarket lights on their car. Oh, it's an ignition issue.
Nashville Trash. Well, running in 5th place, RJ. The 1991 Mazda Miata winner. Oh, thank you, Chris. Chris gave us a little shout out there. Chris Huggins there, Paul. He said he got tons done in the shop today with Doc and Paulie as a soundtrack. Well, we hope that didn't hurt your efforts there, Chris. I don't know if he caught that. You're pretty weak on the microphone there, Bill.
I had him turned down so I could get you. It's.
Oh, he caught it.
Yeah, just to let you know, Bill, what I have to do is I'm constantly jockeying audio levels so that all of us can be heard. If I just left us all at one level, then some guy can't hear the other guy and all that. So
Okay.
it's not. Anyway, it's a long story, but yeah.
It's a sad and poignant tale. Poignant, Bill. Look it up.
Yawning, man. It's just like this heat has just wore me out.
Well, you don't have to run anywhere, really.
Doing crazy stuff to these drivers now.
Yeah. You don't really have to go anywhere. I mean, you can just kind of relax. It's been a long day. Of course, your day starts really early, too.
So, yeah. Well, I kind of overslept this morning, but it's all right. We won't talk about that. So, one of the things that Mike was talking about was maybe doing some 4-hour races, like a 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I keep wanting to do 24s. I love 24s. I think a lot of guys want 24s. It separates the men from the boys.
Bill, just because it's something just because it's something you like to do doesn't mean it's something everybody else wants to do, Bill.
Oh, I know.
You seem to think that that's...
So.
Here comes the emergency vehicle down the pits. With a car on the back. Let's take a look at that.
The 150's on the rollback.
Okay, so that's the Mercedes. Ah.
That's too bad.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us, folks, on Facebook Live. Please share our broadcast with your friends. The KSR team out in front of this race, still a commanding lead, 3 laps up on Cone Crushers, with Team Jackie Yakes 8 laps back in third, 9-4 Motorsports 11 laps back in fourth from the leader, that is. A few laps separating them each. Level 1 Racing in 5th. Team Infinity in 6th. That's your top
Bill.
6 right now.
Bill,
Yeah.
what pit number are you at?
Where am I? 56.
56. Well, Aaron and RJ were asking about car number 755.
What car number?
Aaron's fiance is driving that car, and she can't make it down there. But they're kind of hell and gone for you, Bill.
What car?
Which car is it? We didn't catch it. It cut out.
The 755, the Nashville trash car.
Okay.
That's
They're at pit number 14. Bill would die of old age before he made it down there.
It's a Miata team.
Give me a minute.
All right, Bill.
For the young ladies.
All right.
Way to go, Bill.
Way to suck it up, man.
That's it.
That's why we love you.
RJ doesn't think they've been in yet, so
The consummate professional that he is.
I'm telling you.
We need a little bit of theme music for this.
14?
Yeah, we're going to get some theme music rolling for you.
We have theme music for Bill?
I'm going to make everybody seasick.
Great. Now is Aaron the one that won the pit car or the race car drive?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Nice. So which number should we send him to next, Paul?
The other side, right? I mean, that's what you do.
Yeah.
60.
Okay. He might not make it back. Jeff Burdett says, yeah, that cardio is paying off. Yes, because we can hear him wheezing. I only kid because it would take me a year and a half to get down there.
I've got his mic.
I don't like this.
See, I've got his mic turned down, but we can still hear him complaining. It's still coming through.
And these guys are down here playing in the sand. Can you believe it?
That's a lot of kitty litter out there.
That was a lot of oil down there.
So down in the
I'm
screen.
down into the 20s.
Okay, so the screen down below, what you're seeing is the KSR Racing team. That is our leader. So if you're not watching on a big screen TV, shame on you. Get it up on your smart TV. Get it running on your Roku.
What car number are we looking for?
755.
We forgot.
Nashville Crash.
Got him.
That's them right there.
Got him right here. 755.
All right, there we are, folks. So ask and you shall receive.
And perfect timing too. We got there in their pit stop.
Yep. So obviously a Mazda Miata here.
And it's red just like RJ said. Don't feel bad, RJ. Bill needed the exercise.
So they're getting their driver unhooked and getting ready to install a new one.
Y'all can thank Bill for that hike down there. He's the one that had to do it. We just told him to.
You can see they get that wing on the back, on the tailgate there, which I found out driving at Road America. Let's see if we can hear what they're saying. Okay, so we kind of didn't quite get that interview, but yeah, I found out at Road America in our Miata, Miata starts to get really the back end of the car becomes unstable at high speed. Like when you get over 110 miles an hour, it starts to get a little dicey, and some of the drivers really didn't like the car at those speeds, so they would back off.
Right.
So, and here you can see struggling a little bit to get the fuel in. But so yeah, putting some aero on the back of the car to pin the back down a little bit, it does help stabilize the Miata. And a track like this, yeah, you might hit those speeds on the back stretch.
They also have a drip pan down there. They have both.
Yeah, that's not the best drip pan we've ever seen.
Well, we don't like the.
They also have an actual drip pan in there.
Oh, they've got
okay.
They've got the pan under the pan. They got the pan under the bucket type thing, yeah. So to make sure that they catch it, and that is a problem that we ran into with the Miata. It just goes straight up. It goes everywhere. So getting it, catching it, there is a drain inside the recess there. So there's a hose that goes down, and that's what you put your drain pan underneath. So it's just behind the quarter panel there.
Right.
But the thing that bothered us about the Miata was the cap where the fill spot is really close to the incoming driver, especially when you have a driver helping you get in. And so we came up with this cap. It's just a PVC rather. Lid, one of those caps you find in the hardware store, and we just cut the center section out so it would drop over the hose. And here he's got a pretty significant leak coming from the gasket, so it would drop into that hole and kind of cut down the geyser effect. Here he's going to go ahead and spin that off of there, hopefully trying to reseat that, and hopefully it won't leak so much this time. So yeah, what we did was we fashioned a cap, and we just put that over the last jug.
Yeah, he just didn't have that cap on quite tight enough.
Yeah,
you see a couple of drops, but not near what it was.
Right. So I kind of like this setup where the driver is able to put himself in. He doesn't have somebody standing even closer to the fuel trying to help him get in.
Oh.
No, they don't have a choice. You're right.
Well, normally you'd ask another team, they'll gladly do fire bottle for you.
So black flag car number 324. We don't have information as why, but that's the Epic Racing team getting the black flag.
Yeah, they got one earlier too. Don't quite know why.
As we're in the pits here with Bill Strong.
So who was asking about the 755 team?
That was RJ Till. You know RJ. With Chattanooga Touring Wagon.
Yeah.
And Erin, who is the lady that won our free pace car ride. And her fiance is the driver that just got out of the car. So he can say, hi, wife, or future wife, when you interview him. And,
hey man,
and you will.
I could say, like, hey, man, your old lady's, like, tracking you.
Exactly.
Rick, we're not really listening to Race Control. We have Kevin up there, and he is feeding us information from race control.
None of which is official, by the way. We're getting this secondhand stuff. So we're just releasing that to you as we get it, as we interpret it. So a couple different engines they put in the Miatas. They have a 1.8 liter and a 1.6 liter.
So I probably shouldn't have told that Greg over the year, because RJ's listening, if you get my drift, how we communicate with race control. I'm just kidding, RJ. You know we love you.
As we head back out onto the racetrack now with KSR Flat Out Racing leading the way. Keep an eye on Bill as they finish up their pit stop with that car. Thanks for joining us, everybody, for the closing minutes and hours of this race. 1 hour, 24 minutes unofficially. You can expect checker flag at 11 o'clock local time. It'll be Eastern Standard Time. So stick with us, folks. We'll be right back. You are watching the ChumpCar World Series broadcast, ChumpCast Live. We are back here live for the ChumpCar Sebring 14 at Sebring International Raceway. Paul Veltum along with Doc Waldrop of Brew Crew Racing. Bill Strong, of course, in the pits. As we count down the remaining hours here, an hour and 24 minutes or so of the Sebring race. Please head over to our YouTube channel and the ChumpCar World Series and subscribe to our channel today.
I've really had to behave myself tonight, Paul.
Have you? Why is that?
Because, you know, I'm monitoring our Facebook conversations and stuff, and it keeps identifying me instead of Doc Waldrop as ChumpCar World Series. So I've really had to watch my P's and Q's.
Yeah, like you're official now or something.
Yeah.
You're impotent.
So, yeah, Chris Huggins said that SC300 just sounds... Yes, it does. We'll give you turn it up. I thought you were going to turn it up.
Yeah, we can do that. Let's listen to this.
Let's turn it up for a lap. They're tired of listening to us.
Listen to the tires.
To ask is, okay, who's Aaron's fiance?
Are you guys on me now?
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
So you know some chick named Aaron? Yeah.
My fiance.
Okay, well, she's following you around on the internet. She wants to know how you're doing out there.
Doing pretty good. Just on the struggle bus with a little bit of the left-hand turns. Don't know if the steering rack's going out or not, but we have to turn about twice as much going left as we do right. Other than that, the car's been running great after we fixed all the ignition problems that we were having earlier.
Cool. So, looking good for the rest of the night?
Yeah, we should be good. Should finish out.
Well, Aaron says hi.
Hi, Aaron.
She was asking us to find you guys. I walked all the way from down there.
Oh, here we
for
go.
her, so.
Oh, well,
Here we go.
You're a good
Good,
guy.
good man. You're going. All right, guys. Good luck, man.
Hey, Bill, tell him his fiance.
All right.
Pace car ride.
Oh, Doc says to tell him that his fiance won the pace car ride, Bill.
Oh, yeah. She won the pace car ride. Oh, yeah, she told him.
That was a while ago.
All right, thanks for doing that, Bill.
Thanks, Bill. You're the best, Bill.
The consummate professional that he
Well,
is.
let's not go too far.
We're getting down to it, folks. An hour and 19 minutes remain at this 14-hour endurance race at Sebring. We expected rain. We expected conditions to change dramatically. It hasn't happened. It doesn't look like it's going to. We're going to finish in the dry for the first time in a long time here at Sebring. We're going to have dry weather racing. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, we had, a light smattering of rain at best.
Last year there was a big delay with the lightning that came through. I think they allowed them to run. Mike came up with some plan, let them run longer. I think it was 11:30 or something, and able to get some more time in. This year doesn't look like it's going to be a problem as one of the cars comes by easily, the KSR team, going into 17. I'm hearing him downshifting. Doesn't look like he's going in the pits. That might have been the Mercedes that they had such a fight with. Perhaps making, the what is it, some discretion here and thinking the better of, rather than getting into a big fight like what Randy had experienced, let's just let them go. They're not going to catch you. They're not going to. It's not going to change the outcome of the race for you.
you know that's hard to let another driver go too, especially if you're Randy Moats.
Well, yeah,
But you got to keep your eye on the big prize.
Right, you're driving smart, and as was it Jackie Stewart that says he tries to win the race driving as slowly as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get your head around that one.
That's kind of like the adding lightness. It's like wrap your head around that one too.
I suppose it goes the same way, yeah. Do you think these guys listening know who Jackie Stewart is?
Yeah, sure.
Everybody knows who Jackie Stewart is.
It's the Louis Scott.
Hey, how many cars are still running, boys?
Ay.
See, he's trying to get back at us now. He's going to try and put us to
Yeah,
work.
exactly. He's going to make us work.
That's what this is about. He doesn't really
How
care.
many red cars are still
See, there it is.
I'm figuring out.
Yeah, we'll get that information to you. A look at turn 17. This is coming out onto the front straightaway here from one of our ChumpCar cameras. And a look at turn 5 and 6 as the cars come underneath the Corvette bridge heading into Big Bend. One of the great passing
Bill,
zones.
I have your answer. We have 38 cars still logging laps out of 60.
awesome. Well, you know, people say, well, why are there so little cars still running?
Because Sebring beats the crap out of your car.
Yeah. So, do people understand that, when they only run 12 hours here for the big, the Le Mans prototype cars, they use this race system to invest the team for Le Mans itself. Because you can go 12 hours here, theoretically, you last 24 hours. It just beats absolute crap out of the car. And that's why they run this race.
So, Bill, we're having a lot of trouble hearing you on your mic, but I think we were able to catch most of it. So, Bill, just explaining why do we have the attrition that we do, but that he's pointing out, you think about the classic 12-hour race that the Le Mans teams run. Here we're running 14 hours with these street cars that are lightly modified, so it's not hard to understand why you're going to see more attrition. You're on the track longer. So naturally you're going to see more attrition.
Well, and if you look at the laps, of our top 15 cars, they're pretty spread out. But that's not really the level of competition to blame. It's just how hard Sebring is on a car.
Yeah, let's take a look. We'll go down the running order here. As soon as we get back from this quick break, folks. Stick with us. You are watching the ChumpCar World Series broadcast, ChumpCast Live. So looking at our running order, thanks, Doc.
Sorry.
It sums it up right there.
It's a little quicker than I expected.
KSR flat out, well, your mic's open, so we're going to hear it either way. KSR leading the way with Cone Crushers in second, Jackie Yakes in third, 9-4 Motorsports in fourth, Team Infinity in fifth, and Level 1 Racing in sixth. These guys have all been up in the top 10 of this race for the majority of the day. So they have earned their keep for sure. It hasn't been easy for any of them. They've had to get up there and make this happen. So there's your running order as things stand overall. We had the hazmat team went out early with mechanical, or I don't know if they got into a wall or if they had some contact, but they went out early. E30 Racing also went out with an engine fire. They had to retire the car. Lincoln Felder Racing not circulating at this time. They've had brake issues. They had to call it a day. One of the Tuttle machines, they had to retire that car as well. Cage Gauge Camaro looks like they've called it for the day. They had some contact. Were able to get back out on track, but eventually retired the car. One of the Jackie Yakes teams not circulating. I think they had a mechanical, didn't they, Doc?
Yeah, and Paul, you'll have to remind me. We've got Kevin Sandiego's asking what happened to that number 150, the Mercedes-Benz. I don't have it written down. I can't remember. Was it a brake pad change?
I think they both the Mercedes and the Lincoln had brake issues. But the Lincoln was terminal. It was later in the race, whereas the Mercedes was much earlier. It was like during the second or third pit stop.
Yeah, so the Mercedes blew an engine.
No, the Mercedes is out. The Mercedes is still running. That's
sure, because it went down on the 150 Mercedes went down on the flatbed.
Oh, wait a minute. He's right. It was on the flatbed.
Well,
he's right. It was on the flatbed. Let's look through this running order, see if they appear.
Yeah, so when we were down with Cone Crusher and that big pit stop, the emergency crews were down here putting sand and the oil dry down, picking up all the oil it left behind, because it actually left a trail coming through pit lane. So they put it up on the flatbed. I guess once all the oil drained out, they were able to do that, and then they took it out.
I apologize. I was looking at the wrong sheet in front of me.
No worries, Doc. You've been doing this for 15, 16 hours without any sleep.
Okay,
a whole week's worth of work in one day.
There they are, right there. Car 150 in 17th position. They are not circulating. So so that's probably the question is what happened to the team, and the word is we got from Bill that they blew an engine.
The Lincoln
The Lincoln had the brake issues. Right. Right. They had a caliper let go on the right side, and it welded the piston to the backing of the brake pad. It actually went into it and welded itself there. So they didn't have the necessary hardware to get that car back on track. So apologize for the confusion there, folks, but that's what we have for you.
That's my fault.
All right, so an hour and 10 minutes remain with KSR leading the way. Let's see what else we have here to work with, folks. Take a look at some of the other cameras we have running. Well, we have the Never Start Racing team, and I love this perspective. You know, these headlights that we're looking with in the KSR team are great. But take a look at the inside camera view we have inside the Dodge Neon. A little bit better perspective. We talk about how dark it is out there. You can't quite see what the headlights are illuminating. The wipers are kind of in the way, but you can see just how dark it really is out there.
Guys were saying it's darker than normal.
It could be cloud cover. It could be anything.
Yeah, I don't see any stars.
Could be some of the infrastructure from the hurricane.
Well, like he's saying, there's no moonlight. The stars aren't, there's nothing coming out of the atmosphere. So, yeah, that would make it tough. Maybe the storm washed away the light. They may have some lights that are down, although we see power lights up there. Turn 17 now.
So we were talking to the track, the people that run the track here, and they said that when they showed up, they had 2 power lines across the backside of the track. I guess about by 10, 11, somewhere out there, and 14. The rest of the track just had trash and metal objects like gutters and stuff like that on it. But other than that, it was tree branches everywhere. But other than that, it was pretty good.
Awesome. Well, that's good news. That was great news.
Brian Staley is watching from the house this year. He said, hopefully the Buddy Hendricks team is still in the race. I don't believe they made the race, Brian. I don't show them even as a car that even started the race. So, and as Paulie has mentioned a couple of times, we've had several teams because of the hurricane had to retire from the race or withdraw from the race would be a more accurate statement. So I don't think the Buddy Hendricks team ever made it out here, bud.
Yeah, we had somebody on YouTube that's just chimed in and asked, what are the top 5 lap times?
Ooh.
Well, we had, right now, the fastest lap time of the race is a 2:33.4 with KSR Flat Out Racing in the lead car, that SC300.
I think that was Randy behind the wheel, if I remember.
So
that was Randy.
So what you're seeing is, and we had up until that time, it was the
Gauge Cage Camaro.
Thank you. It was the Gauge Cage Camaro with a 234.9. I'm trying to scan through here because I don't really have a list of that information.
Oh, I do. I have it right here. KSR Flat Out with a 233.427. Chump Tech was second, the 150 car, the Mercedes, 234.278. Cage Gauge Camaro, the number 33386, they did a 234.928. The number 4 fastest lap is Cone Crushers. They did a 235.534. And Backwoods Racing, they did their EC car, they did a 236.108. And number 6 was KSR Flat Out. That's the 226 car. They did a 236.208.
So there you have it.
Tuttle did it.
We're like on
car
top
did
of
a
it.
236, which is pretty darn good for a front-wheel drive car.
Yeah, we're getting it done. Thanks for that, Bill. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that, and we're getting somebody else from YouTube's chiming in saying, you know, too bad about the Lincolnfelder team. They ran in the top 10 most of the race. And yeah, it was. In fact, we asked Bill to go down and talk to them because they were doing so well running in the top 10. It was a new team. And,
that Mercedes?
The Lincolnfelder team. The team with the Lincoln.
Team, yeah.
Yeah. We'd gone down there just to talk to them, get some words from them when they came in and had to retire the car.
Yeah, that brake caliper thing was indeed fatal. You don't want to run around Sebring with no brakes, especially in a big, heavy car like that.
All right, here's another one for you guys. How are the times comparing at night to daytime?
Well, originally, Bill, they lost about, I think we figured an average of 7 to 8 seconds.
Yeah, as we heard from Kevin with the KSR team, he said each of his drivers were within about a tenth of a second of each other. They just ran through the traps at a 242 the loop. Drag racers. Jeez. Yeah, so yeah, that would be about 9 seconds just on that particular lap. We'll have to look and see. Yeah, they're obviously down a little bit.
Jackie X is only about 5 second difference on their lap time to their fastest.
Oh, they know that track so well.
Yeah, but that's a good gauge, you know, because they are champions of that track.
Yeah, Team Infinity, they're only 2 seconds difference.
Wow.
Yeah, they just came through to 241. Their very fastest lap was a 239 on lap 14. That was earlier today.
Level one racing to 94 something or another. They're 3 seconds off. Yeah, they're 3 seconds off. So depends on your team. It looks like a lot of teams maybe 2 or 3 seconds, but that could also be what do you call it? That could also be a difference in traffic too.
Traffic, you could also consider driver talent. You know, a lot of teams are going to put their best driver in at the end as the anchor to bring it in.
What we do is we put our youngest driver in at the end because we figure he can still see.
Yeah. Put the guy in that's got the most stamina, for crying out loud.
We want young eyes in there.
The poor sod.
Well, I've taken our last lap. They usually put the guy, nobody wants to drive a steering with our car. So I always draw the full spot.
Someone tell me about... RJ wants to know about a Nissan truck. I don't know about a Nissan truck. What Nissan truck?
There was a car that looked like a truck. It's like a BMW with the back cut off. It looked like a pickup, but it wasn't.
Let's see if I can get you that information on the Jackie X team. The 935's been in and out of the pits with trouble. I do not show them circulating right now, so they might have finally run into something they couldn't fix. But the 66 car is obviously running very strong in third place, like we expected them to run up there. Yeah, Chris Huggins makes the point that, you know, if they were digging hard, I'd expect zero change from day to night. So, yeah, I can see that, but I don't know. Sebring's, I don't know. I'd like to believe that, and several teams proved it, and that they're only like 2 seconds off, and that could very well be traffic.
Yeah, and also the leader. You know, you're leading this race, and you're up 4 laps. I'm going to tell my guys, take it easy. Conserve fuel, save the brakes, because everything's getting wore out on that car really quick.
Yeah,
you don't know how much pad you have on the brakes. So
that's because you guys drive a Toyota, though.
There's no reason to push it.
Oh, we know how much pad we have left. We've ran this track enough. I can tell you how much pad's left, how much tires left, the whole bit. I just can't tell you how long my hub's going to last.
So, hey, Bill.
Yes, sir.
Chris Huggins had a question. Is Sebring darker than VIR?
No. Sebring is more lit. VIR is much darker.
Okay.
There's parts of Sebring that are dark. I mean, there's dark spots in it. They do have lights on the corners, so you do see the corners. VIR is just pure dark. It's worse. This is easier to drive at night.
Okay.
Yeah, because the Opal didn't have great lights, but I could see. You know, it wasn't bad.
Right.
So there was no way I could drive the Opal at night. No way. At VIR.
Okay. There's your answer, Chris.
So with just 60 minutes remaining in this race, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back, folks. Stick with us for the final hour of this 14-hour endurance race at Sebring International. You are watching the ChumpCar World Series broadcast, ChumpCast Live.
Discovery Parts is a veteran-owned racing and safety equipment company located inside Atlanta Motorsports Park in Dawsonville, Georgia. We take pride in being a reseller of the best of the industry to ChumpCar teams and drivers. We know racing, love racing, and we look forward to tomorrow for even more racing. Visit us at discoveryparts.com.
In 1977, Bill Wood set the standard for high-performance brakes. Today, every Willwood product is born from racing technology and is proudly manufactured in the USA. Engineered, designed, rigorously tested to deliver unsurpassed control on and off the track. Whether it's for cruising or absolute performance, Willwood has an application for the ultimate stopping experience. Race-proven, street-ready, drive Willwood.
You are watching the ChumpCar World Series broadcast, ChumpCast Live. All right, folks, we are back here live. It is the ChumpCar Sebring 14 at Sebring International Raceway. Paul Veltzum with Doc Waldrop of Brew Crew Racing. Bill Strong here with you today as we call today's 14-hour endurance race in Sebring, Florida. Please head over to our YouTube channel, ChumpCar World Series, and subscribe to our channel today as we come back for the final hour of this endurance race here at Sebring. We've got KSR leading the way. We've had a commanding lead the majority of this day with Cone Crushers behind them. Down 3 laps with Team Jackie Yates behind them. Another 5 laps, 9-4 Motorsports in 4th, Team Infinity in 5th, and Level 1 Racing in 6th. We'll take a look at our by class running order, starting with Class A. Here is your top 15. It's Level 1 leading the way with Momo Chump in 2nd, and in 3rd, Valerian Steele. In 4th, ISC Racing. In 5th, Sofa King. Heading down into B class. Here is the running order. You've got Inactive Motorsports currently not shown circulating, but they are shown leading the way with Never Start Racing in 2nd and Low Racing in 3rd. Looking at C class, there's your top 15 with KSR leading the way, then Cone Crushers, and then Team Jackie Yates. Then it's 9-4 Motorsports and KSR, the other team car, in 5th. Down to D class. We've got Team Infinity leading the way with Kids Racing in 2nd, and the Linkenfelder Racing, although not circulating, still being scored in 3rd spot. And in EC, it's CMD1 leading the way with TLM USA in 2nd, Andy Turner Motorsports in 3rd, the RYSA Racing Team in 4th, and Knuckle Funts in 5th. Knuckin Funts, there, I got it. So there's your by-class running order. Did it hurt? A little. A little.
All right, so we got 17 people watching and only 7 shares. So that means 10 of you are slacking off. I don't want to call you out by name, but I can.
So I don't think I mentioned there's folks coming in and out. I've been derelict in my duties and not reminded folks. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, please share before you get in trouble with Doc here.
Yeah, you don't want to plow up that old snake.
Please share with your friends, or maybe you don't want to share with your friends. I don't know. They won't be your friends anymore. But yeah, please share with your friends if you would, please, on Facebook. We'd appreciate that. Head over to our ChumpCar YouTube channel as well and subscribe to our channel. That helps us out with the technical support issues that we come up with. Helps us do a better job of bringing better programming to you. And we appreciate that, as we hope you do too.
And trust us, there are no people that have more issues than us.
That much is certain. You take a look at the track here. You can see there it is, 3.6 mile racetrack, 17 turns. I've been negotiating for the last 15 hours. Very challenging, very aggressive racetrack, known to cause great attrition.
13 hours.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, did I say 14? Yeah, 13.
Yeah, you
I'm
scared
trying
me
to make
there.
this longer than what it really is, right?
So Juan Santiago says, hello there. Well, thanks. He also says, thanks for the show. You're most certainly welcome, Juan. And I'm sure Juan is one of the guys that have shared our broadcast. I'm sure of that. I can tell.
You got the nose for it, right?
I do.
All right, so I've got a picture that was sent to me of from the inside the e-racing machine.
Oh, Lord.
At the time of the fire that they sustained. So I'm going to, I'll be working here to get that brought up for you so you can take a look at that.
Well, I'll try and keep our viewers informed then. So not much has changed. Flat Out Racing's been leading this race for quite some time now. They don't show any faltering at all. So their pit stops, as well as all of our leaders, certainly our top probably 10 teams have had flawless pit stops. I just looked up and saw the Momo Chump team has gotten up to 10th place. Those guys are longtime ChumpCar competitors.
So there's a look at the image we got there, Doc, and it looks like the electric monster from the Scooby-Doo series coming up out of the ground, but it's not. This is a fireball erupting from under the hood of that E30.
It's our understanding they also have video of this. This is just a quick screen grab. I'm sure they'll be downloading that, and if you're not a fan of theirs, go onto their Facebook page. You can find e-racing on there. I'm sure they'll be posting it up to the ChumpCar forum as well.
Yikes.
Yeah, Chris, that is right. We heard there was some video. I think Greg Craddock let us know that Hunter's got some video from inside the car. Hunter was actually the driver. So Lisa Pooch-Ann Daniels says, well, I was watching on my Roku on my big TV, but y'all be complaining about not enough people on Facebook. So here I am. You happy? Yes, we are.
Oh, he can actually watch YouTube on Roku.
Yes, and they are. So
She said she came off of YouTube to come over to Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Which is not what you want.
Well, no, we watch you on YouTube. It doesn't matter where you watch us as long as you watch us. That's all we care about.
And more importantly, over on YouTube, if you would subscribe to ChumpCar World Series, that really helps us out a lot because we're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers because then YouTube starts helping us with these broadcasts.
Apparently the
So
car...
I'm just kidding with you, Lisa.
Yeah, but it's nice of you to come over there and keep Doc company.
Yeah.
He gets lonely easily.
I do.
Four Paws Racing being called into the pits in their Honda Prelude for lack of running lights. So hopefully they'll get that sorted out here in the remaining 50 minutes. They can get back out there and finish the race. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on Facebook Live. We appreciate you. And on our YouTube channel, the ChumpCar World Series channel, where you can watch our broadcast in 1080.
At least I don't mind if you go back. The picture quality on our YouTube channel is much better than what we get from Facebook.
So the question that is, how long will the battery in the KSR camera last? This is one of our cameras, a full 14 hours.
Well, I assume you have it hooked up into one of those
No.
XT 10,000s.
Yes, but I've never ran it for 14. I've always run it for 7, took it back.
Well, I've got mine plugged into our cigarette lighter. So it gets power except when we shut off the master kill switch. So the only time it's not using the battery power would be when the kill switch is off, right?
Right. Well, we don't want to do that, and the reason is I don't want to interact with the racer's electrical systems. I don't want our system interfering with.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah, we got to be completely autonomous somehow, and so using these batteries is the way to go. And yeah, this will be a good test for us. We'll see how well it holds up. So far, so good.
These are nice. I've got one. H. Hayden David said, if KSR is going to win again, win next year again, I hope to get better cameras. Well, we found this is probably the most reliable cameras that we've got right now.
This is the first test of these cameras in a race environment. We tried it VIR, but we had some network issues with that blackout they had due to the storms, so we never really got to test them. This is the way to go, and this is the way we're going to start doing our in-car cameras, per Michael.
Oh, the big boss has spoken.
Well, if we can just stabilize them a little bit more, we're going to have I think we're going to have something really, really enjoyable to watch.
Chris was saying the iPhone 6s last exactly 2 hours, if that helps us do it.
Well, my kids are getting new iPhone 8, so I'm going to take their iPhone 6s and use them.
And there we have it. Must be nice to be your kid. Aren't those cameras or those phones expensive?
Yeah, well, my kids get everything they want.
And Bill is independently wealthy.
It's not all my choice.
Yeah, but you're rich, so it doesn't matter, right?
Well, no.
Oh.
Well, I mean, this announcing job pays the big bucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, what about that? He's not hearing us. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Tap, tap, tap. Is this thing on?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, we know you're saying that tongue in cheek there, H. Hayden. He says, just kidding, fellas. I'm happy to see any coverage. Well, we're glad you're enjoying it.
You know, it's like anything. You in a position like what we're in, where we're trying to really innovate and move forward with something that not too many people have done before at this level. There's a lot of ground being broken here, and so, but just naturally, you know, you want to make it better every time you do it. You want it to be better in some way, and so you hear ideas and suggestions, and you maybe take it a little more seriously than the way it was intended. But yeah, you know, we kind of joke around a lot about the quality and whatnot, but we really do want it to be better. So that is something we're always working towards. And what's really cool is that Mike is behind all of it. So he's really supporting us, and so it's great. And we're going to get there.
Yeah. And so, you know, as with racing, everything takes money. So we're actually looking for a corporate sponsor for ChumpCast. Seriously looking for somebody so we can take this to the next level. So we have a spare $10,000, somebody to call.
Yeah. Got an extra 10 grand laying around, and you want to invest in something that's exciting like this?
That'd be awesome. You need to send that to doc.waldrop.
Wait. No. I don't think that.
That's
no.
not correct?
No, that's not.
Email address? Oh, yeah, there's no dot in there. I'm sorry. It's Doc Waldrop.
No.
D-R-O-P.
No, I'm 100% serious. We're actually actively searching for corporate sponsorship for this, for the ChumpCast. We have some big, exciting things on the way, and we're welcome to talk to you about it and what we can bring exposure to your company. And we'd like to talk to you.
Oh, and we've alluded to it earlier in the broadcast and a couple of times that we're fixing to make some big waves here in the next 3 months. So y'all just stand by. A lot of the initiatives that Mike's launched are going to take some time, but and we're taking little baby steps. Like we said, our 2018 schedule, as we confirm dates, we're already announcing those. And that's a big change from what we've done in the past. We've changed the bylaws a little bit. We've got a new class of membership, and it's really a semantics change. We had to go to a weekend membership rather than a spectator, quote unquote, a spectator pass, because we are not a spectator series. And that was really dictated by our insurance company. But there's plenty more changes coming, trust me.
Really,
There's
just
a lot of people working
technicality,
behind
though.
the scenes to make this the best budget racing endurance series in the country. And I have no doubt that we're going to get there and get there pretty quickly. World. I forgot to read my my style guide. So Jeff Burdett says, okay, the real reason I haven't sent the Broadcasters Cup trophy is I don't want you to take the camera off and use it in a car. Well, I think you're still pretty safe, Jeff. Paul's not really in charge of the cameras. He's in charge of producing the show. So Bill's the one you need to keep cameras away from.
So Marky Thunder, chiming in from live chat over on our YouTube channel, says he's watching from his 55 in smart TV, so inch smart TV, so much
Nice.
better than Facebook Live for the early part of the race. YouTube coverage is good. And,
Nice.
Mr. Applejack 1976 says I always watch on YouTube.
Sweet. So, hey, Bill,
Yes, sir.
you got a question here on Facebook. Are we covering Sebring in December?
I cover Sebring whenever Sebring is because Bill Strong loves Sebring.
There's your answer. Looks like we know where we'll be spending the end of the year then in December there, Paul.
So basically, we do whatever Bill likes. That's how it works.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Basically, it's just like Bill's family. We just do whatever he likes. That's the way it works out.
Yeah, we need to get better agents.
He's more like Amy.
Be more like Amy.
I can't be that patient, Bill. So Edward Shannon says that he just signed up on YouTube. Thank you very much, Edward. We appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thank you.
I gotta get one of those big monitors like Bill had at VIR. That was nice. I got spoiled.
Yeah, I still got to figure out how to get one in a box that I can take with me wherever we go.
Right.
Mike just looks at me and
I thought
hey,
Mike was buying us like a school bus or something.
that fell to the waste.
Yeah.
Yeah, we look at all this stuff and then we actually we say, hey, how about doing this? Then we actually research stuff and go, yeah, that might not be a good idea.
On
I
board here
voted
with
yes just
KSR.
because they're yellow, but that's just me.
Yeah, the hubs would probably just break.
Stick with us, guys. Stick by. You are watching the ChumpCar World Series broadcast, ChumpCast Live. If you can hang on for another 40 minutes, folks, we're going to find the end of this race, and then we're going to have interviews in the pits with the teams, and then we're going to go on to the award ceremony as well and capture all of that tonight. So great racing out here this weekend at Sebring International Raceway. Our car count was down just a little bit from what we had hoped for as a result of the storm that came through 2 weeks ago. But we had over 60 cars start the race, so it was great.
Ryan Staley said he's our YouTube subscriber number 643. All right, guys, we need 367 of you.
Well, we've driven the numbers up quite a bit, so I think we've gotten around 50 that have signed up today.
Okay, so
that's a good start.
Come over to Facebook Dark Side with me. She says, okay, perfect combo. Race on YouTube and on the TV, and interaction on Facebook with my laptop music.
Okay.
Yeah, baby.
That'll work. So let's go down through our running order here while we have a little bit of a break here. We've got KSR leading the way, Cone Crushers, Team Jackie Yates, 9-4 Motorsports. What else we got here? Command 1 leading the way in P7, and they are leading EC. Team Infinity is leading the D class in P5 overall, and Level 1 Racing is leading A class in P6. So we'll come down through the running order. There's Momo Chump in second in A class, currently in P10. Valerian Steel, ISC Racing. Who else we got? Bucket List. Those guys up in 16th now. They were down in the 20s the majority of this race. They've worked their way back up even after a yellow flag penalty today.
Yeah.
Never start racing up in 18th. They've had a camera the majority of the day, and they spent some time in the garage too today, I noticed. So it's great to see those guys are inside the top 20 in that Dodge Neon. Treasure Coast Racing up in 20th. We were down in their pit for a little while as we watched them go through their final pit stop of the day. Chump Tech dropping down through the orders. They've retired that car, but they're still scored in 23rd spot. Kids Racing for Life in 24th. We found them up higher in the running order earlier today.
There's my buddy Pete running in 25th with Hit and Run Racing in his Acura. He's the guy I talked about earlier. If you get a chance, he's been on TV before with his high roof creations. He takes the old Volkswagen window vans, if you remember those, back from the 60s, 70s,
yeah.
And does some amazing work with those things. He also he casts the front of the Bug, and it's a very recognizable shape with the curved V. And he makes screen surrounds for TVs. He makes bars out of them. So he's a pretty creative guy down there.
Well, the JB Bugs VW Super Beetle is still circulating in 39 spots, so that's great to see.
Yeah.
Glad those guys are still out there. Butt Crack is still out there. Always good to see Butt Crack. Why would I say that?
I think it was Craig, said that's one of Bill's teams, and he left it right there.
Okay. Nashville Trash in 43rd, Epic Racing in 44th.
I just have a lot of stuff in my pockets. I can't help it.
All right, so Infinite Loop in 52nd. So those are the cars. That's the cars that are circulating at this time, folks.
And as the race comes closer to finishing, we may see a couple of those cars fire up and get back out just to say they finished.
Right.
And there's a lot of reasons for that. Maybe they overheated. They don't want to risk warping ahead. Maybe they had a wheel bearing going bad. They can hear it, but they don't have a spare, so they'll get out and run 1 or 2 laps with it. But I mean, this is such a tough track on cars, and we keep saying it, but until you run it yourself, you have no idea how much it'll beat your car up.
Yeah, let's just take a moment, go inside the KSR team car, and just listen in as they work their way around this track. And as we get to the front straightaway, you can actually hear the tires clapping over the seams in the cement pads that separate those huge World War II era cement slabs that the teams still race across. So let's go inside and listen to this. It's pretty cool.
I kind of feel like a cement slab right now.
bit of in-car love there from the KSR team inside that Lexus SC300. It's been leading the majority of the race today. And it's been a privilege riding along with these guys. We got to spend some time inside the car for 2 stints with Randy Popst, and we got a chance to speak with Randy a couple of times as well. Bill got a chance to interview him, and we got a lot of good feedback from him. If you didn't catch those interviews, you can go out to our YouTube channel and rewatch the race, rewatch those interviews from our channel. Of course, we'll also go ahead, Doc.
That KSR team's been leading since around right around 11:15 this morning. So virtually 12 out of the 14 hours. And of course the 917's been running second to him, just can't make up the time. Sebring doesn't do hot pulls, so there was no time to make up any time at all. We've been going full course yellows to get cars off the track.
Yeah, we had somebody on YouTube say that they need to invest in some kind of a anti-shake mount for this camera. It's a little rough, but you know it'll improve. We'll come up with better ways to mount them. But this also is a really aggressive track. But yeah, we'll figure out how to get them better and better as time goes on. It's a refinement process.
Yeah, what we're using right there is, I assume it's one of Bill's clamps that he made up. It's actually a clamp from my industry, the lighting industry, where we use a big clamp to clamp the big moving lights onto the truss. It happens to be the same size as roll bars. So we mounted that on there. Basically, you tape the camera and the Cerevo on. Or, well, this is just a camera, so I don't know.
So the way I set this up is I actually have a plate, like a quarter-inch, maybe a quarter-inch aluminum plate that I ordered. It's like 4 inches wide and 8 inches long. It's about the size that we use, and then I welded the clamp to it.
And you're cutting out there, Bill. We were missing the particulars.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I'm reading and trying to talk to you. So we used quarter-inch aluminum, 4-inch by 8-inch, or maybe 3.5-inch by 8-inch. The clamp, and then this one actually is a little different. I have a flat clamp that has that's used for mounting cameras. I clamp that to the aluminum, and then I have a cell phone mounted to that, so I can get it high enough to see over the dashboard and see the rearview mirror on Kevin's car, the KSR car, and then a Samsung Galaxy S7 is mounted there. The battery is actually T aluminum plate, and it's holding up well. Every time he comes in, I inspect it.
Right, and that's one of our challenges is we can't, you know, when it's your car, you can make a mount for your car that's rigid, but when you're trying to make something that you can adjust, it's going to be really universal for somebody's car, quote unquote somebody's car. You don't really know what you're going to be dealing with when you get there. So that's another challenge we got to overcome.
Well, and the image is pretty stable when he's not running over, you know, and Sebring, I don't know if they call them gators, but they're really like curves mounted together in these corners. These things are rough.
All right, so we're getting down to it here, folks. About 30 minutes remaining. So stick with us. We'll be right back after this quick break.
You are watching the ChumpCar World Series broadcast, ChumpCast Live.
In 1977, Bill Wood set the standard for high-performance brakes. Today, every Willwood product is born from racing technology and is proudly manufactured in the USA. Engineered, designed, rigorously tested to deliver unsurpassed control on and off the track. Whether it's for cruising or absolute performance, Willwood has an application for the ultimate stopping experience. Race-proven, street-ready, Drive Willwood.
Discovery Parts is a veteran-owned racing and safety equipment company located inside Atlanta Motorsports Park in Dawsonville, Georgia. We take pride in being a reseller of the best of the industry to ChumpCar teams and drivers. We know racing, love racing, and we look forward to tomorrow for even more racing. Visit us at discoveryparts.com.
You are watching the ChumpCar World Series broadcast, ChumpCast Live.
Yeah, that's it. We're back here live for the ChumpCar Sebring 14 at Sebring International Raceway. Paul Veltum along with Doc Waldrop of Brew Crew Racing and Bill Strong here with you today as we count down the remaining minutes of this of the 14-hour race here at Sebring. And as you come in to join us on Facebook Live or wherever you're watching from, please head over to our YouTube channel before you leave today and subscribe to our channel so that we can drive up those numbers. That's important to us to help us do a better job of bringing you better coverage. We need to get those subscriptions up to a particular level to satisfy YouTube before they'll pick up the phone and answer our questions. So that's what we need to do, and we appreciate your help with it.
So, and Bill could probably answer this really best, but Kevin San Diego said it was... Oh, Bill already answered. Never mind. Yeah, he was pointing out that using a cell phone for the video camera is usually not the greatest platform, but it's, you know, we found it's the most reliable and it uses up the least amount of data. And when you're running as many cameras as we are, the data is expensive.
Yeah, we found out that I was going over my allotted 15 gigabyte by a lot, and I was getting a lot of overages, and those overages were adding up to hundreds of dollars. Now, this money is your membership money, so we don't want to waste that. So I try to do this, like I said, on the cheap, and we found out the cell phones, Galaxies, were actually the cheapest. We tried it with some cheaper phones, the Galaxy J7s, which are brand new. Unfortunately, their video stabilization isn't very good inside the camera because it's a cheap camera. So I use those around the track. When you see a 1070 is one of those. Inside the cars, the Samsung Galaxy, they're bulletproof, man. They do have an issue with really big G-forces, like you've seen in the race here, but they're reliable. I get unlimited data. We can go multiple races per month without me getting a huge bill. So, you know, it works. It's what we found that works, and it works good.
So Robert Johnson says he's watching from the Martinsville infield, currently under a red flag.
Oh, okay.
That's NASCAR, right, Martinsville?
Well, it normally is, but the Cup cars, the Infinity or the Monster Energy cars, are running up in Loud, and the trucks, I think, are in Kentucky. I don't know my NASCAR schedule. I'll have to check my drivers tomorrow for my NASCAR fantasy league. But
picture. Unfortunately, GoPros aren't as reliable as they may look on TV or gears and good stuff. They're great for sprints, but we have some serious issues with them. You can do it through Bluetooth as well. Bluetooth works okay, but like I said, you have to come across data, and you have a cell phone in there. It works, but this works better. It's cheap. When you start looking at the original Cerevo setups we use, those are about $1,000.
yeah, that's what you talked me into.
At that moment in time, that was the best way to go. But when cell phone companies,
Yeah, Bill, we're only
cell phone
catching.
that cost me $700, but it only cost me what, $10 a month to.
Yeah, we're just catching bits and pieces of what you're saying, Bill. For some reason, you're breaking up a lot.
Sorry. Yeah, I think it's the where I'm sitting.
It's probably because you're using a Galaxy phone, right?
That may be why.
It's all right. Well, I think we understand. We got the gist of what you're getting at there.
So Brian Cheney's saying we have a used live shell, a Terra deck and a cell phone in the Team Jackie X car, but we haven't seen them up lately, have we?
No, they were up for about 62 seconds and then went down. I'm kidding. Yeah, Jackie Yates' car wasn't up for very long at all. They went down very early on in the morning.
And then Kevin San Diego's talking so far over my head. This will probably make sense to y'all.
Kevin, yes, I'm listening to that. So Kevin's asking about the Raspberry Pi. I forgot that he makes a Raspberry Pi camera. Kevin, I'm not, I'm a programmer by name only, but if you can contact me off list, and we can discuss this and do some
Yeah, so I know you can't hear him right now, Kevin, because he's blanked out again. But you can contact Bill by sending him an email at bill.strong@chumpcar.com, and you guys can get together and talk about that Raspberry Pi technology, which is it's just kind of like a builder's way of putting a camera together. It's pretty cool. For IT guys, I guess. Maybe it's not cool for everybody else.
I like Strawberry Pie my best.
I think it's cool. Yeah. But yeah, if you want to contact Bill, you guys can talk, and I'm sure it'd be fun to look into using Raspberry Pi as well.
Yeah, he was also mentioning a shared 5.8 gigahertz transmission on a balloon hoisted over the track. So there's a lot of things we can do. Here's the best idea I've got for you. Send money.
Jeez. Very close race for 5th between the 19 car and the 412 car in 6th. So these two guys are on. I'm showing they're separated by a lap though, so I'm not sure what they're talking about. They may be close together on track.
Yeah, close together on track.
But there's a 2-minute gap I'm showing according to Race Hero. So I'm not sure about that information, but I'm going to at least pass it along. Yeah, most of the teams that are out there, we've got some cars that are relatively close to one another in timing and scoring, but not what we're accustomed to seeing in many of our races. There's up to a lap difference in all of the positions out there.
Yeah, and again, I don't think that's the necessarily indicative of the level of competition in ChumpCar. I think a lot of that's tracking.
Once you guys get all that, once we do all that on camera, then we'll go upstairs.
Bill, we're having trouble getting you.
I don't think he's talking to us anymore.
Oh. Okay, I thought he was. Maybe not. Yeah, you might be right. So 20 minutes remaining in today's race, folks. Stick with us for the remainder here, just 20 minutes. And we'll be going to checker flag. Looks like, Doc, we avoided the rain this year.
It certainly appears so.
We had a full race in here, man.
We had a few raindrops, but nothing like what Sebring is truly capable of.
Yeah, nothing that really affected the
race.
Which
would be the downpour where you can't see the other side of the track.
Yeah, we really didn't have the red flags. We didn't have full course. We didn't have anything like what we had last year, where we were delayed for quite a while in the pits, red flagged due to lightning. And this year it's just been a lot of great racing.
Yeah.
So it's been great. For those of you that couldn't have made it to today's race, we wish you the very best in your recovery from the storm that came through here just 2 weeks ago. And we look forward to seeing you at a track real soon. We're going to be back here again in December, for instance. Hopefully you can make it for that event.
Yeah, that race is scheduled for let's see here. It's late in December 29th.
Yeah, right out there at the end of the year.
Yep, that's a 10-hour race. at a pretty dang attractive price, only $900. That's not bad.
So back on board here with the leader, our overall leader, and our C-Class leader. KSR Flat Out Racing, their 95 Lexus SC300. They've led the majority of the race today. They won here last year after a very challenging race of high temperature heat plus rain. They finished in the wet. It was not perhaps as enjoyable as it was this year because of all of that. And they persevered in the rain to take the win, and here in the dry, persevered to take the win as well. Team that had Randy Popst at the wheel for a while. I believe it was twice today.
Yep.
And we got to hear from Randy in 2 different interviews. And it was great to hear his enthusiasm for ChumpCar and the level of competition that we have here, and why he enjoys racing in ChumpCar so much. And that seems to be a familiar theme, Doc, in the people that we talk to.
Absolutely. And somebody commented earlier, and I can't remember who it was, but this whole race that we posted up on our YouTube account later on, in fact, it may already be going on there for all I know. I'm not the brains of this operation, in case you haven't surmised that. But those interviews came about at the about 11 hours into the race. At the time at the moment, the local time was 8:18. Was an interview with Whit Staples, who was in that Mercedes that was battling with Randy. And then Randy's interview was about 10 minutes later at 8:28. And again, that was about 11 hours and 15 minutes into the race. So if you want to fast forward when this all gets on YouTube and find those interviews, they were pretty entertaining. It was really kind of neat to get both of their takes on what was happening out there on track.
Right, because both of those guys, of course, were racing bumper to bumper at the end there, so it was really, really fascinating. They're both excellent drivers, of course, and so that was a lot of fun. So you'll have to check that out. So once we close our connection to YouTube, it'll be published there on our channel, and you can go back and watch it. So hope you'll enjoy that.
I know a lot of teams spool it up when they're driving home from the race, because a lot of these teams are not based in Florida. So you got a long tow. I know Alon came back when he came back from Laguna Seca. They watched the entire broadcast as they traveled from Monterey, California, down to West Palm Beach, Florida, and that's about as long a tow as you can get.
Well, and I should preface that by saying this, that it's supposed to be up there. You know, what we found out at the end of the VIR race, for some reason, it just didn't happen. There was very little content up there, so I had to go back and put that together with recorded footage and repost it. Well, we've been able to record the entire race this time around. I don't have to go back and capture and post, so we actually have our own recorded version, which we should have been doing a long time ago, but I didn't really have the horsepower for it. Anyway, so we're capturing it off of the offsite as well. So at any rate, that if you don't see it up there tomorrow morning, we will get that published within the next day or so, just so you know.
So we're getting a little note from Race Control that the 22 car, that's the Propaganda Racing BMW, is getting black flag for no running lights.
All right. That's a shame. Hopefully they get that solved. We got just 15 minutes remaining in today's race, folks. Stick with us. We'll be right back here.
You are watching the ChumpCar World Series broadcast, ChumpCast Live.
Oops, the black flag was canceled.
That's good news for those guys. Just 15 minutes remaining in today's race. This is when it gets exciting. All the hard work, everything, all the planning, the strategy, everything comes down to this remaining 15 minutes. As KSR has certainly earned this win. Let's see if they can hold it together for the next 15, 16 minutes to the checkered flag to take the win. Here's a look from Bill's camera. He's standing down in the pits right now, and he will be there as the cars come in. He'll also be down in their position as they take the checker. And but we'll get a chance to talk to the teams and the drivers from Parc Fermé, in-pound.
Top 5 finishers.
Yeah, top 5 finishers overall.
Yes.
Okay, I say that better. And yeah, so stick around for that. That's always a lot of fun. And then we'll have the awards ceremony. That's always a lot of fun too. To get to see the teams behind the madness. And
it is madness.
And it is that.
It's all of that.
All that coming up right after impound. And it all clips off pretty quickly. So it won't take long. It'll be a lot of fun. So stick with us for that. So the clock you see running down there just above our ChumpCar RVA Graphics and Wraps logo is not an official clock. That's just something I slapped together by looking at the clock on my computer. It has nothing official about that.
It's mostly to keep us informed.
Yeah, it kind of keeps everybody up to speed with roughly where we're at. And that goes for the timing and scoring information we have as well. That's not official either. It's second, third-hand information. And, of course, then there's us, what we say, and it's about as unreliable as anything. So
yeah, that should never be considered official.
So hopefully you just find it entertaining at least. But we're doing the best we can with the information that we have, and what we found in the past is that the information is very accurate. It ends up being very accurate to truth. And there's that.
He's doing a great job keeping us in. He's sitting up there in race control, and he's relaying things that happen over the radio to us as soon as we get them to us. So that's been extremely helpful.
And that VW Super Beetle still out there turning laps. Good to see those guys out there in that Super Beetle. They were behind the wall for a little while as they broke some carburetor linkage. Fortunately, they brought a complete engine with them, and all they had to do was just take the linkage off and snap that on there and refuel the car, and they're back out.
Who was it that Bill was joking it'd be quicker to replace the engine?
While it's in here, why don't you just pop a new motor in there, man?
Sure.
No. They won't have to change oil again. So there we can begin to see the amount of reflection of the lights coming into the car from the rear view mirror. You can see the Miata up ahead trying to find a position. Really not advisable. It's best just to hold your line. Don't try to help and get out of the way. That's how bad things happen.
Yeah, you want to be predictable out there.
Yeah, I've had it happen to me in iRacing. I was leading a race, and I came up behind them, and I was drafting them, going to pull right and go on by, and as I got right up to their tail and pulled right, they pulled right, and I slammed into the back of their car and wrecked us both. Just hold your position. Don't try to help. That's usually the best rule of thumb.
Yeah.
You see working through turn 17 here. As he goes by heading down into turn 1. Here's a look from Bill's camera. You can see just how dark it is off in the distance there. As Bill reported earlier, there is no moonlight. You don't see any stars when you look up in the sky. It is pitch black out there right now. But it looks like we're going to finish in the dry, which I think just about everybody except the front-wheel drive cars are probably happy about that. You know, when it comes down to it, this is okay.
I think it's probably, the first time it's never rained at Sebring?
Yeah, I'm not sure the guys will know what to expect. They brought their rain gear and didn't get to use it.
In 2014, it didn't rain. That was our first race as Brew Crew Racing. It didn't rain, but we started out with a pretty wet track because it poured the day before. And I guess I don't think it rained during that day. I mean, we got back to the track for the race on Saturday, and we had lost an easy up. So Paul and I have an unofficial gauge on races as far as weather severity, and this has actually been a 0 easy up race.
0 easy up race. I like it.
10 being, of course, the worst easy up race.
Is that the one where it flies off into the sky like a?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and you end up. Maybe you might be able to salvage the top out of it, but the frame, forget it.
Okay, so when we're at NCM and it collapses under the rain, weight of the rain, and the water you're trying to get off of it ends up in your shoes, what's that?
That's a 10, I think.
Oh, that's a 10 also. Okay.
Well, I don't think we had any blow away, but we sure had a lot of collapsed ones. So that might have been an 8 easy up race. But yeah, you see pictures, teams will post on the internet, there's invariably a picture of a crushed easy up.
And we're gonna scroll down through the running order here so you can see the overalls. Of course, once we get through the finish, we'll go through the overalls and we'll take a look at the bi-class as well. Just 8 minutes remaining here, folks, in this race.
And I say easy up. I really shouldn't single out easy up. I found those to be the best pop-up tent out there. And virtually every off-brand that I've seen does not compare to an easy up.
Yeah, we kind of use them like Band-Aid or Crescent Wrench. It's just what we call them.
Yeah, it's a generic term. Of course, companies hate when things go generic, like Kleenex, Q-tips. There's who we ought to get to sponsor. Bill, we should call Easy Up.
Easy Up, huh?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Kleenex.
for wiping away the tears when your car breaks again.
It seems like that'd be more appropriate.
Yeah.
I know what. We could get the Kleenex teams to sponsor the Toyota teams.
Ooh, ouch. Bill must not be listening.
I don't even know where that comes from. I used to work at Toyota.
I'm listening.
He's taking notes in the background. Okay, all right, okay. Just keep going.
Here, let me hand you that shovel so you can dig your grave.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to take pictures as these cars come down the straightaway because they're just a blur.
Yeah.
I can't do it with the cameras that I have, and I'm going to have to apologize beforehand because you're not really going to get pictures unless there's photographers here, but I don't see any. So we'll have blurs as you go across the finish line. I think the guy that's doing the flag might be clear.
What's going on? Where has AWOL Photo been? They used to cover Sebring. I got some great photos of them at Sebring and at Daytona. Haven't seen them out at the track lately. Which tells me one thing is that
yeah, we're missing you, Doc, because we had that mic open there on Bill. What was that you were talking about? The
I was just saying,
company?
I haven't seen AWOL Photo out at the track lately. They've got some great pictures of us at Sebring and at Daytona, but I haven't seen them advertising lately, photo packages. So the only thing I can surmise is that not enough people were ordering photos. So there's no sense in going if people aren't going to order photos. That's how they make their living.
Well, that's true. That affects photographers. You would know better than anybody. If you're not ordering photos, they're not gonna go out there and cover those races.
No, it's expensive to get out there.
So
it's a little bit cheaper now that you're doing mostly digital photography and not having to develop film and buy film and that sort of thing. But there's a lot of other expenses. mostly, I mean, the sheer number of photos they takes a while to cull down to get the best shots. But AWOL did a great job. Another company that supports us a lot is Rich and them in Halston at Motorsports Media. So they do some great work.
So we just got a message from control. Under 2 laps now remain in this race. 2 laps. So we got the KSR camera down below there. And I know it's a little bit choppy because of the way that it's captured there. Apologize for that. But you can see they're on track, of course. Still turning laps. We're in with Bill Strong's camera. Looking at the start-finish line, there's the tower just off to our right. You can
Bill's
see,
thumb.
Yeah, Bill's thumb, giving the thumbs up. And it's cool. It's a great image. It's a great shot there.
So don't mess it up, Bill.
Oh, he won't. Just a couple laps now to go here. Won't be long. We're going to be seeing that checkered flag. We should see the 1 to go signal coming up here soon as the leader comes by. So you can see down below, that's where our leader is on track roughly right now. There's a little bit of a delay, about maybe 15 seconds. To get a rough idea of where they're located right now on track.
Yeah, we'll certainly be able to tell when he's on the back straightaway, which I believe he's on now. Yeah, he's on the back straight because you can see the pit row lights on the right.
So here comes the 1 to go. There's the wave. There goes our leader. And Bill confirms that.
And I guess he may turn around and get. Generally, ChumpCar lets the teams come out to the pit row wall and cheer their drivers out as they cross the finish line. Yep, they're starting to show up. The hardy souls that are still left.
So KSR working their way around this track for the final time. Set to take the checkered flag here and win this race for the 2nd time consecutively, 2 years in a row. Under the mobile bridge he goes, heading down into the hairpin turn for the final time.
Yeah, let me know when he's going to come up on 17, please, so I can start the other video.
Will do.
Right. So now heading down through Fangio, if memory serves. This will take him up through to turn 10. A brake and a downshift. As he heads down through Collier now. This is turn 11. Up into 12, now heading to 13. This is also called Tower through here.
Yeah, I'll have to do some research, see who that's named from. Obviously, we know who Fangio is named.
And now heading down towards 14, also known as Bishop. The track gets kind of narrow down through here as he's pursuing one of the back markers, of course. This will take him down into turn 15, which will set him up for turn 16. Makes a clean pass there, no problems. Takes the same line he's been taking all day. Now on to 16, now on to the back straightaway.
So he's on your back straightaway, Bill.
And with that, we're going to switch over to Bill's camera since we know the timing's a little bit different. There's the starter still waving that finger in the air as 1 lap to go. And you can see down below is the capture camera we have.
Get that phone for me, please. We made a call.
So it looks like he's giving the thumbs up there as teams come by. And there's a look from the tower, that checkered flag waving. I just love how it's the sound of the cars going over those seams in the cement are actually louder than the engines. You can hear the clack, 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 clack as they're heading down the racetrack. It's pretty funny. It's so cool. Big accomplishment here this weekend. A lot of cheering going on. Lots of fun.
Still got more cars coming too. I think that's it.
And JSK coming into the pits, you can see there below, heading towards you,
KSR.
Bill. Or excuse me, KSR. Thanks for correcting me on that.
Sorry
Heading
about
in.
that.
No, I need you to, because I just can't seem to keep it straight for some reason. All right, so there they are. There's your winner. They persevered, took command of this race, and brought it all the way to the end. And there is Dan directing cars in. So they'll bring in the top 6 and park them here. Teams will put them up on jack stands, get the wheels off for a brief tech inspection. Teams will have an opportunity to visually look at the cars without getting underneath. Other teams will be able to look at other teams' cars in that way, and they can protest if they wish. If no protests are filed, the race will be called official once the official inspection is complete. And then we'll go to the award ceremony.
Hey, Bill, you got us there?
Go ahead, man. We got you.
So Brian Cheney was in the 66 car earlier today, and now he's on his way. He's driving to Indianapolis for the SCCA runoffs. So he wants to tell the team congratulations from him.
All right, we will get to him. Remind me, please.
Yeah, it looks like our Facebook feed stopped like 2 minutes before the race finish, and we got it reestablished just as the checkered flag fell. So
That's okay. I'm actually uploading the finish in 1080 by 60.
So anyway, but on YouTube we got it also. Yeah, some of the people commenting, I'm glad I'm watching on. I got the YouTube running as well. And your mic keeps opening up on the bridge too, Bill. So we got to try and keep that from happening. So we got you on your main camera.
Oh, sorry about that.
It's all right. Just try to keep it shut down to cut down the echo. There we go.
Thank you very much, Jeff Burdett. Says great broadcast, guys. Thanks for what you do.
You're welcome, Jeff.
Yeah, so teams are coming in, and we're going to walk around and take a look at those cars, and we'll get a chance to talk to the crews. We still got cars coming in. This is on board with the Never Start Racing Neon. Finished this race today. Finished 26th overall. Congratulations to those guys. Of course, not in the top 6, so they're being waved behind the wall. The day is done for those guys, and a job well done. So after 14 hours of racing, it's come down to KSR Flat Out Racing winning this race this weekend in their Lexus SC300. The team that won here last year picks up the win once again this year. So there is your top 6. We'll go through the complete running order as we get ready to go through interviews. There is the top 16. We'll scroll through your full running order here, folks. The Super Beetle making the finish today. We'll go down by class. So looking at A-Class, Level 1 Racing taking the win in A-Class with Momo Chump behind them, Valerian Steele in third. Into B-Class, it's Inactive Motorsports with Never Start Racing and Low Racing. In C-Class, KSR with Cone Crushers and Team Jackie Yakes behind them. Into D-Class, Team Infinity with Kids Racing for Life behind them, and Lincolnfelder Racing in third. Looking at EC, Command 1 with TLM USA in second, and Andy Turner Racing in third.
All right, we're ready.
All right,
we're ready.
Whenever you're ready, Bill, we got to kill that other microphone, remember. I got you muted, I think.
We got the music killed here.
What's playing music?
I got it. Go ahead, Bill.
Ah, cool.
Is this right here?
All right, wait a sec. They're talking with Phil. Phil's looking at reviewing stuff. All right, we are in South Florida, and we can't be in South Florida without Kevin Smith winning a race.
It's 4 in a row, man. Like 2 Daytonas, 2 Sebrings. I can't believe it. Like, you know, every time we show up, and I'm not a superstitious person, but like I really hate to like count my chickens before they hatch. So I try to be real conservative with what I talk about, what I do stuff. But 4 years in a row, or no, 7 years in a row, we've been on the podium.
Yep.
I think it's 5 wins here.
I think it is 5.
I think it's
And
5.
that's including December too, right?
No, we didn't win December.
Oh, okay.
We won the first 2 with the chop top car. We got a 3rd with the 240. A 3rd with this car when it got crashed late in the race. And then I think this is the 3rd win for this car here. So great event again. You know, you guys did awesome. This stuff is awesome. We're obviously still getting used to, you know, what do I do with my hands? All that weird stuff, and saying stupid things. Yeah, definitely need to thank my crew. Travis English, Trevor Lister, my Tom Yeager, my shop guy. Been with me for 3 years, moving on to another opportunity. Been great the last 3 years, Tom. Wish we could get you back. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, all the guys that have helped me out in the shop. I got another guy named Victor. Good race, man. But yeah, here we are. We had Randy Popes with us today, and he drove the wheels off of it. We turned him loose middle of the race, and he put down a ringer for us to try and catch up to at another event later down the road. But yeah, David's got an awesome car. He would let us build the thing for him. We built it kind of together. So our other car finished 8th, so we're good with that. So we got 2 of them in the championship now. So good deal.
So you're gonna go to Alabama, or where's it at?
I think it's an A&P.
Yeah, A&P.
Later this year. Yeah, I think it's kind of in the works. I got to check the schedule. We're talking about doing Coda and Daytona for the Trans Am finale. I got to check, see how those work out with the ChumpCar schedule. So I definitely want to be at the championship with something, especially since we've got 2 of them that are eligible now. So. Cool. Yep.
All right, man. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thanks, team. You guys did awesome.
The rest of the crew. Yeah, I'm just a cog in the wheel. So.
All right, guys. Congratulations. You guys did awesome. And that Randy guy, he was all right too. All right. And the second place was the Cone Crushers. We'll come down and talk to them.
All right. I'm tired.
We have seen you guys on the podium a few times this year.
Yeah, we've had a good year. Had a pretty good year, actually. Look that way. Yeah. You know I'm not the camera guy. This is Scott.
That's
over
all right.
there.
You are now.
Yeah. But no, we've had a good year. Had a good day. Didn't have anything for Randy.
Yeah.
You know, Randy kicked her butt. But, you know, that guy's fast.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, if I was as fast as Randy, I picked the wrong career. Yeah, I need to be getting paid to do what I know. Yeah, he's good. Yeah. But otherwise, you know, I mean, outstanding day. Car ran great. Went through some tires.
Yeah.
Otherwise, good day.
Tell us a little about the car.
Well, you know about the car.
Yeah.
944 S2 motor. Yeah, I guess that's about the sum of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, good. Ran perfect.
It's a tough track, man.
It ran perfect. It did. It ran perfect all day.
So what do you think contributed to getting this high up on the podium on a track that is known for killing cars?
Very good team.
Yeah.
Excellent team.
Cool.
And you know, and luck. It worked.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. Some days it works.
I know.
Yeah, so
I know all about that.
It was good.
All right, man. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, who got 3rd?
Jackie X, 66 car.
Jackie X, that's right down here, 66.
That's the one Brian Cheney wants you to say congratulations to them as he drives up to Indianapolis for the runoffs.
It's Brian, right? Brian
Cheney, yep.
Hey, Brian Cheney says congratulations, man.
Oh, but thank you, Brian.
So, you've got a lot of 3rd places here.
No,
2nd places.
No.
A lot of 1sts.
Oh, we
You've been
won
on the pole. You've been up here.
No, we won 4 times before.
Oh, yeah.
With the 2 cars.
Yeah.
Okay? But if Kevin doesn't have issues, we just can't match his speed. You know, that car is just too fast. And our friends, the Cone Crushers, glad they didn't break down.
Yep.
They have a fast car, so happy to see Infinity here too, and those 9.4.
Yeah.
You know, those guys. I expected them to come with the Lexus.
Me
you know.
too.
And I say, what's that car? You know, and when I found out that was their team, I knew it was going to be a good car. You know,
they tested that out at Coda.
Yeah, man.
So it's an old pace car. Toyota pace car.
Really?
Yeah. So Long Beach, I think, something like that. I know.
Yeah,
So,
it looks so nice.
Yeah. What could you have done differently to move you up, man?
Maybe just push them in the grass or something like that, or hide the helmets, or except that, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where's my boss?
if it had rained, more front-wheel drive, and we have beat them before just because of the rain too. So,
So we were talking about that actually. When it looked like it was going to rain, we were saying, you know, these guys are running away with the race, but I said, hey, they're front-wheel drive. That could be the equalizer. And So
hey, at the same time, it's so difficult, especially when it goes from dry to wet, and then after from wet to dry. You know, if it's all wet, that's one thing. But if you go from, it's so hard to estimate the speed you can go at, you know. And, you know, we may have had a little chance, but I still enjoy myself a lot more in the dry, so I'm pretty happy with this, you know.
Cool, man.
And our second car got destroyed, so not destroyed, but badly damaged that we couldn't continue. So, but that's why I've got two cars, you know, one here, one on the trailer, and I still have a smile on my face.
Yes, you do. Man. Congratulations, guys. We've seen you a lot up here this year, and that's good, man. All right, guys. Congrats. Brian says hi too. Oh, he's on his way to Indy.
Yeah, I know.
Do you think he'll do good up there?
Oh yeah. You know, he told us he's not planning to bring any hardware back. Just a picture of him kissing the bricks. That's about it.
All right, guys. Good luck. Oh, you going to Barber?
No.
Or not Bar Amp?
Yes, that's the championship. You know.
Go?
Oh, we are there.
I think Troy's going to be there too.
I know, I saw him sign up.
Yeah.
And a few more fast teams than usual because it's a championship. We are hoping that, you know, we have been there every year since they started doing there, so we are hoping to have a little advantage not knowing the track.
Cool.
But you've got to improve that starting thing, because that's fine. You know, a race like that, I like random. No, but Bill, I'm sorry. When it's a 7-hour race on a track like AMP, it's so important, you know, the teams are so close, you know. Your starting position can decide something, you know.
Well,
and at least at AMP,
email Mike with the suggestions if you have any.
I have one.
Oh, okay.
You know, and I know people think it's crazy to do qualifying for ChumpCar, but I say we are playing race car drivers, right? So why not play all the parts? And if you don't want to qualify, don't qualify. It's up to you. And once upon a time, it would not have been possible in ChumpCar, but now that we have practice day on most tracks before the race, let's select half an hour for the teams that want to qualify. Go for a half an hour, and that decide the first few teams. Because I'm sorry, the field is so close. You know, there are so many good teams nowadays that you can't just, it's endurance racing. You've got time to make it up. No. I'm sorry. No more.
I know. You have to go. You have to go flat out from the start to the finish now.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You know, we are almost
now, out
like
west,
the
they
pros.
may not have to do that.
Yeah, I know. But I know. One of these days we'll go see how it works out over there.
It's fun out there, man.
We have been up to Central, and so it's just so far from Florida.
I know.
You know, we try to do a bucket list track every year. So
well, we have some pretty interesting races coming out there next year. You might be interested in a couple of them. So
we are planning to be at Kentucky, the Corvette thing, because it's a national championship.
That's a great
and
track.
that would be a great time to do a qualifying for a national championship.
Well, that you got to talk to my bosses about. So, but I'm going to leave it on that note, man. Congrats. That's all right. All right, who's next? 19. Where are they? Oh, they're getting inspected now.
Come talk to me after I had a couple of beers.
984, 94 Motorsports. Guess where you're at, man. You guys are on the podium.
Incredible. Just it's been one long day. I don't even have words for this moment. I didn't think we were going to make it to the podium, but here we are.
Man. You guys just
I burned the tires off the car. We're metal to metal on the brakes. Couldn't see a damn thing.
But you're here, man.
I'm here, and we made it.
You're here. That was an awesome race. So what could you have done a little differently to put you in front of Philippe?
Go to racing school. Go to driving school.
Yeah, those guys are good.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're good. We're no faster. We're no slower than them. They're more consistent than us. They are awesome drivers. Heck, all these cars are awesome drivers. I'm glad to be in the line with them.
Cool. So, where are you going to race at next?
If I can put together enough dollar bills to buy 4 tires, 4 brakes, 4 rotors, here, Sebring, December.
You're not going to go to the championship? You qualified for it.
Qualified, just not going to do it.
Yeah, okay. It's a long trip for you.
Wait a minute. It's even harder. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it is. It is. There's some. I'm actually in. I'm driving for the Celica team, and it's a lot of big time teams going to that one. So, well, congrats, man.
Thank you
It's been
very
a hard
much.
run for you the last few weeks.
Oh man,
We love you guys, man.
thanks.
All right,
984.
let's go talk to. Yep. Let's see where they at. They're over there talking to Danny.
Heads up behind. Oh, they're coming in.
We got the light behind us, so we want to have it.
Right here. You want to get right here? He's up.
Get over here.
He's up.
Hey! Boo! Wait.
They're scattering.
Everybody's running from him.
It's chase down the guy.
That's right.
Great race, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was fun. It was long, but it was good. We
This is
came
the
through.
third race with this car?
Second race with this car. Yeah, we raced at COTA. Had a
And you
great
won at
weekend.
COTA.
We won one of the races at COTA. Yeah, and then we were on the podium the second race. 4th place tonight. We were hoping for a little better. Roller coaster day for us. But the drivers did a great job and pulled through. And 4th place. I think we'll take that and move on.
So the cars with really mushy suspensions tend to do really well here. Not mushy, but compliant suspensions.
Sure.
This is pretty compliant, right?
Sure. I mean, this track has a lot of you call it character, and so not being on slicks, a really stiff suspension is not. I don't believe is the way to go. So, having a car that is compliant, like you say, rolls a little bit, you tend to see better tire wear and depending on the driver and the situation, better handling.
So, what could you have done any differently to get a little higher?
Well, we could always get another 2JZ and stick it in the back. That would be one way to catch those guys that are, wicked fast.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything we could have done to be up there with Kevin and those guys. But, we've got some things to try and gain a little bit here and there. And, you never know what will happen next year.
Where's your next race at?
We're going to Harris Hill next week with the Lexus, and then we'll be at Barber in December. So we're looking forward to those
You're not
races.
going to championship?
No, we're not going to do that. Yeah, that's up in Road America, isn't it?
No,
Is that
it's
Road
at
America?
It's in
Atlanta Motorsports Park.
No, that's a scary track for us. It's pretty tight.
Yeah, it is.
We've seen some issues in the past there, and we try to stay away from that track.
Right.
So that's just our personal preference.
No, that's
it's a great track.
It's all right because I'm racing there, so you guys can stay away.
Sure.
So, congrats, man.
Thanks. I would just want to give a shout out. We got here Friday, and there was like a city out in the infield here at the track, and all the men and women working on the relief effort from Irma. This is a staging area for utilities and all that. So I just want to give a big shout out to them and tell them thank you. And they got us racing, and it looks like a lot of them have left, so they must have gotten power back. So they're really the heroes here for getting us up and running and getting Florida back together. So thank you guys for doing that for us.
Yep. They all started leaving today, and but they worked the last week and a half, 2 weeks to get this place back up and running. The track said they got them up pretty quick. They got everybody, the important places together first, and then they hit the track, and they're back in business, and the whole area is back in business, and that's just wild, man.
Yeah, we got to meet a few of them and hang out with a few of them, and man, they love what they do, and they enjoy being here, and they enjoy helping people, and it was refreshing to see that and meet these people and thank them for what they do.
Yeah. All right, guys, congrats, man.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, guys, so Sebring, 14 hours, probably one of the toughest races you'll do in ChumpCar in the U.S. This track will destroy cars, which it did. It pretty much killed half the field here. we are done here. Our next race, where these guys are going, is Atlanta Motorsports Park. A couple of weeks, and all our guys will be racing. I'll be racing. Doc will be racing. Paulie will be taking a vacation, but we're going to do some updates for you guys during the race. When I'm not driving, actually, I might actually do a little in-car talk with you guys at the beginning of the race, or at the beginning of pace laps, just to show you around the track. But thank you for joining us, and please like or subscribe to our YouTube channel. You guys will help us out a lot. And I'm sending it back to you guys. We got to clean up. Got a lot to go. We got to head back to Virginia tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Bill, don't we have the award ceremony to do, bud?
Oh, yeah. I always forget about that.
I'm sorry. You got more work to do.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, I just gave my goodbye, but we'll do the award ceremony, too.
I like it. Well, that's cool.
I thought I could time out now, man.
You're tired, I know. It's exhausting. We got more work to do yet. All right, so that's it from Impound there.
Oh, 9%. That means this got shut off.
And the good news is our battery held up in the lead car all the way through the end.
Yep, the XT.
We need to get the phone out of the...
10,000. Sounds really impressive, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's still running.
10,000.
There it is. It's still running in that car. So we can make it a 14-hour race with that setup.
Sweet.
Tested, tried, and true. There we go.
Okay, so we got a little bit of time to kill here, Paul. Should we go over this qualifying thing?
Well... The qualifying.
I mean, Philippe has some excellent points.
Well, it's funny you say that, Doc. Oh, it's verbatim what I talked to Bill and Mike about a year ago at Laguna Seca. Verbatim.
Right.
So I think, and that idea that I came up with was a conglomerate between me and my dad, who's been club racing since the 70s. And the argument is that, you know, other organizations can do it, why can't we? The challenge is a little unique in endurance racing because of the logistics of where do you put everybody. You know, when you qualify your cars, you have to stage them in order before the race. So you're just talking about more work. You're talking about more money because in some cases you have to rent out a little more track time.
Yeah.
You've got some teams that may not want to subscribe, just like Felipe said, may not want to show up, but then you can let them just start at the back anyway. So,
right.
It's going to come down to you guys. It's going to come down to the teams to decide, you know, if they like the format that we're going to or
you
using.
Are watching the ChumpCar World Series broadcast, ChumpCast Live.
Sorry about that, Doc. Go ahead and push the wrong button.
So here's the deal. I mean, you know, as Mike has pointed out and other people have pointed out, that folks don't want to give up their racing hours. And we get that, and we understand that. Mike's very, very sensitive about your time on the track. And so you can't take away from the actual race time. But and Philippe's point is look, you know, at a lot of these tracks, we have a practice day, and it's not official yet, but it is my understanding that AMP is going to have a full practice day on the Friday prior to the race. So I don't think any team would begrudge giving up 15 minutes, you know, or say the total time is 30 minutes to get anybody that wants to qualify qualified. But, you know, and here's the other argument against it is, like you said, it's a lot more logistics because, you know, ChumpCar assigns us our pit stalls before the race, so you know where you're going to get it set up, because we're not multi-million-dollar teams. We don't have 10 crew members that take care of the car and 4 drivers. You know, we have often for 90% of us, I would guess that our crew members are our drivers as well. So then if you qualify on Friday night, we got to shuffle everything up to make sure that all the teams that qualified up near the front are at the front of the race. Now, one of the things maybe we could do is release the cars out on the track as they qualified, but that takes a whole lot of marshals. So it's just not as simple as just going out there and setting a fast lap and that's it. Woohoo, I'm on the pole. And Philippe's a bright guy. He understands all this as well. But we're trying to figure out some way where we could do it. Because as he pointed out, in a 7-hour race, and especially on a track like AMP, there's just not a whole lot of passing opportunities. The track isn't as wide as Sebring. So I'm sure Mike's going to look at it because enough people have said it. In fact, RJ Till posted on Facebook, qualify. And I know Chris Huggins bent my ear off at VIR about, and not as a ChumpCast broadcaster, because I carry no certain weight there, but I am a member of the board of directors. We do discuss this kind of thing, and we're working on it, folks. But it involves a lot more than just going out in your car and turning a quick lap.
I think that the teams understand that. We're getting some feedback on YouTube right now from some people chiming in about that one of the members is saying, look, all I'm saying about the start order, let the teams who care prove it somehow, either by first come first serve or by qualifying. If you don't, and you let it be random, some other all-inclusive order, you're gonna get fast cars stuck at the back, and then they're gonna be ticked off, and then you got, you run into problems, and that's one of the. There's a couple of arguments that I brought to the table, and one was, you've got a place like, I just brought up Road America. If you've got Road America and it's raining, and you start that field, and you've got fast guys at the back and slow guys at the front, it could be a melee. You look at the other situation is, as ChumpCar has matured, we've really begun to look at what is an unfair advantage and how can we deal with that. So we have rules in place. We have car classes now. We've got when we go through our in tech inspection, we're not just looking at safety, we're looking at tech. We're looking at at the end of the race, we're doing impound, we're evaluating the cars. We have these rules in place where you can protest the cars. So we've got all these things in place rule wise to say let's eliminate as much as we can, logistically eliminate unfair advantage. That's right. That's what it is. Well, and I believe there was already, in fact, I'm sure, I recall a conversation that we had already pretty much agreed between the board and the administrators of the race that we were going to grid the championship cars at the front of the field. Right. But just kind of, and that's a start, right? I mean, but yeah. Here's the scenario that I brought forward, and I think it bears some merit, is that if I'm a Miata team and I have another Miata team that I compete with frequently, we're relatively equal, but I go to Road America, and if I start 62nd and he starts 3rd just because of random order, well, it's going to take me all race to get anywhere near that guy, and he's not going to finish 3rd overall. He's going to drop back a little bit, but it's going to be a much more favorable position for him. So now you have an unfair disadvantage that you're creating as a result of the way that you're starting the field. Right. So something. But I'm sure Mike's thinking long and hard out of it, because it's the club belongs to y'all or us, the racers. So. Mike's got to, he's got to look at numbers, and we'll all put our heads together. We got some fairly bright people, myself excluded from that group. So we'll figure out something. Yeah. So stick with us, folks, here a little bit longer. We're going to join into the with Bill at the award ceremony coming up here shortly. I'll check his camera real quick, and we'll be right back.
You are watching the ChumpCar World Series broadcast, ChumpCast Live.
At 11:40, we'll start the awards.
All right, that's just about a few minutes away here, so thanks for that info, Bill.
Yeah, because we beat the qualifying horse to death.
Yeah, there's not much to be said after that.
Kind of like that view through the glass now. It looks like they're all little ghosts out there.
Yeah, it has to do with the way that glass
reflects,
is pulling it, yeah. So we're looking at Bill's camera. It hasn't come on yet, so as soon as that goes live, we'll go down into the pavilion or the room or the garage or wherever they're at, and we'll join them for that award ceremony. It's just going to be a couple minutes here, folks. So pretty awesome race today we had, Doc.
Yeah.
Things looked pretty good for Gage, was it? The Camaro?
Yep.
Those guys were looking strong at the beginning. They right away turned the fastest lap of the race and were holding a good lead up front. And then they just started to tumble down the running order a little bit gradually as some of these faster cars that don't have to come to the pits as often as some of these D-Class cars were able to work their way up to the front.
But yeah, I mean, for the most part, we saw the people finish up front that we kind of figured would finish up front. Had a couple of surprises in there. I don't know if you could call them a surprise. It might be that I'm just not familiar with them. Level 1 Racing and that Mazda Miata finished 6th overall. The Command 1, that Acura Integra, finished 7th. The sister car, the 226 KSR Flat Out Racing SC300, finished in 8th. Everything incredible. We mentioned them before the race. They probably didn't get the finish they wanted. That's a fast car, won at NCM on one of the days. The Momo Chump, those are longtime Chump Car competitors. Good to see them get a top 10. Move Over Racing, I'm not really familiar with that team. How do you say the steel team? Valryan?
Yeah, I think Valryan. What did I say? Yeah, Valryan is how I pronounced it. That may not be right.
Yep, they got a 12th place finish in their Mazda Miata. The Floridiots, those guys, they're a long-time Chump competitor. Very active on social media and stuff. They finished in 13th in their 944. ISC Racing Service, we've heard of them before. Finished in 14th, and Sofa King Crappy finished in 15th in their Mazda Miata. So all right, guys, time up around here, but I think most everybody would agree that Sebring is indeed a horsepower track.
Right. Yeah, Bill, we still don't have your camera up for some reason. I'm not sure what's happened there. In active racing, in that Mazda 626 finished in 17th place. That's the car that's finished in the livery of the Mazda 767B that did so well at Le Mans several years ago. That's a new build, I believe. So to get a decent finish,
got your attention.
they've got to be pretty happy. Maybe they'd like to be closer up to the front, but you know, a finish at Sebring is still pretty impressive.
Sebring 14-hour event in the last, well, since we've ever been here, that did not rain. That's amazing. And after all the rain you guys have had here recently, that must have been a nice thing. Congratulations finishing the race, everybody. Pretty good weather today. I saw a lot of good racing despite the fact that we had a few less cars to play with today. Before we go any further, I want to remind everybody, if you rented a transponder, please get the transponder off your car, take it over there to the breezeway. One of the ladies over there will gladly trade it for your credit card. And also, as always, I'd like a big thank you to all the people that make this possible. That's the corner workers and the volunteers and the EMS crew. Did a phenomenal job. Can't do it without them. All right, on to some of our secondary awards, some of our extra stuff we do here. We'll start with an award for EC whenever we have more than 5 cars in EC, and today we had a lot more than 5 cars. We always award trophy for the top finishing car in EC class. Today's winner of EC was car 648 CMD1. I wouldn't trust the wells on that one. Hey, it opens the head up so, like, you know, put stuff in it.
Don't spill the beer.
Hey, Skip, that's okay. You're not in picture.
I want my drink in the video.
And we have this nice backdrop for everybody to use for taking photographs.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations, EC winners. All right. Our next award, I heard this story and I couldn't pass it up. It was too fascinating for me. We had a car that had to replace the clutch. Boring, happens all the time. But then they did it again. And then they ended up replacing that clutch 3 times in one day. It turns out that they had a driver that was a little bit hard on clutches, so he has now been named Clutch. But 3 clutches later, they managed to finish the race. And so I would like to give our Rudy Perseverance Award to car number 22, Propaganda. There you guys are. You tired of turning wrenches?
That's pretty good. All right, guys, right up here.
Send it to me also.
Which one of you's clutch?
Yeah.
That's clutch. 3 more. I'll destroy them all. All right, everybody smile. Thank you.
Who carries 3 clutches with them?
All right,
Oh, man, that's a good point.
Next, I got some sponsor awards.
Apparently those guys.
Our sponsors, some of our sponsors at least, give us some
He runs an
prizes to
E30,
give away
so
to you
that's
guys.
out of
Rather than assign them to somebody who may not want them, may not need them.
out of Miami.
Many of you know
So
that what I just
he probably owes some clutches around the garage.
or a burning desire
Right.
we have here. So I'm going to start with something from our title sponsor, RVA Graphics and Wraps. They make all sorts of things, not just wrapping your car, but they can wrap your helmet, your hood. They can make fathead wall stickers you can put in your office. They do anything with vinyl. They have a $100 gift certificate off anything they want, they make. So anybody interested in decorating themselves, their car, their office? They see, who sees a hand over here?
Get over here.
Come on up, $100 off anything from RVA Graphics and Wraps. Enjoy. Next up, I have a $100 gift certificate for Frozen Rotors. Any of the brakes they make, I hear a yeah right away. Front and center. Short walk. Congratulations. Finally, even though you are required to have this to pass tech anyway, many of you know a friend who's building a car, or maybe you want to build a different car. So we have $100 off a Lifeline fire suppression system. Anybody have a need or a desire for that? I see a hand in the back there, right by the pole. Come on up. Oh yeah, thank you. Congratulations. My young assistant has reminded me. Does anybody missing a automatic pop rivet gun? We found it today.
I'll take it.
In a few minutes, it'll be yours.
Yes.
After the race, after this over, you know, I've got it here. I'm not taking it home with me, so. All right. Moving on, our class awards. We always do is if you finished on the overall podium, you get a little plaque with your big trophy. If you missed the podium but win your class, we have a trophy for you. Starting with our Class A winner for today, car 412, Level 1 Racing.
Awesome. Yes. Hell yeah.
Hang on.
We did it.
I didn't like that thing.
Fantastic.
It's amazing how hard you can make an e-car work.
Get excited.
So 412 Level 1 Racing taking the win in A class. Finished 6th overall.
much. I appreciate it.
Next, our B class winner, car 626 in Active Motorsports. What kind of car? I'm guessing it's a 626. Funny story about this. I come down pit road today, and one of the teammates is sitting there on pit road. And he says, so you know what the rest of the team's doing? And he kind of looks up, and they're sitting up in one of the suites up there with their feet kicked up watching him work. Congratulations, guys. B-class finish.
Nice. All that's missing is the ice cream.
Yeah.
So your B-class winner there.
Squeeze in, guys. Come on, everybody in.
P17 overall, B-class winners right there. Inactive Motorsports.
That's a lot of you guys. Great, guys.
Hey, not bad for our first chump race.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Kevin, did you get it?
Yeah, I think like 10.
Congratulations, guys. All right, and our D-class winner today. Also, D-class winner was not wearing, they don't wear it. They were running Maxxis tires. So that means that finishing in top 5, running Maxxis tires, Maxxis is going to send them 2 new tires, lowering the cost of racing, tire by tire. Car 19, Team Infinity, the Shark car. Signed backwards.
Everybody squeeze in.
So they're 1994
There we go.
Infinity taking the win in D-class
Perfect.
in that J30.
Congratulations, guys. Good run today.
Hey.
All right, our podium finishers after 14 hours. In 4th place, we had car 984, 94 Motorsports. There you guys are. Where's the rest of the crew? Slowly but surely. Oh.
So there's 94 Motorsports.
In 3rd place, we had car 66, Team Jackie X GT30.
There's Team Jackie Yakes with their Mitsubishi 3000 GT taking 3rd overall, 3rd in C-class.
Congratulations.
And somehow you didn't hit me today.
In 2nd place, car 917, Cone Crushers.
Cone Crushers, the team with that 94 Porsche 944. Sorry, it's an 86 Porsche 944. Taking 2nd place today.
Congratulations, guys. And
pretty cool.
Receiving Fortune Out Race car 225 Flat Out Racing, also our C-class winner.
There's Randy Popes just off to the right, congratulating them. Stayed behind for the award ceremony.
He's a class act.
Could have left a long time ago. His stint ended around 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock.
You guys duck down so I can see this. Okay, hang on. Wait, got more photos. Yeah, get
So your overall winner here, KSR Flat Out Racing, won with their SC300 Lexus.
All right. Congratulations, guys. Good race. All right. Finally, we have our Chandler School Award, our Sportsmanship Award we give to a team that exhibits positive attitudes, great sportsmanship, joy to have around, very helpful. Had a couple teams today, did something. This one stood out above the others to me. They broke out early. Many of you have experienced that. It's kind of a bummer feeling. Car's shot, can't fix it. Didn't get to race, gonna go home. But on their way out, they ran across another team that had broke as well, and they were desperately searching for a part for the car. Nobody had it around here. Their day was gonna be done. This team walked up and says, you know what, take anything you need off our car. And so they got some brake parts off, some stuff that's not common around here, and got their car together and was able to keep racing. So I think that's pretty special. Didn't ask for any money, didn't want it back, so just take it. So I got our Chandler School Sportsmanship Awards for car 213 Beach Bimmers. I'm guessing they probably left, but if any of you know them, I'm willing to put the trophy in your hands and get it to them. All right, guys. All of our awards we talked about today come with an invitation to the championship a month from now at Atlanta Motorsports Park. Exciting, fun track, good weather, good time of year. Yeah, you've been there before, you know it. Welcome to come there. Otherwise, guys, make sure you don't forget the transponders, get them off. Final thing, make sure pit road is completely empty. We have another club in here tomorrow morning. We got to have this empty. You could leave your trailer out there tonight, that's fine, but this pit road's got to be empty and clear. Thank you all for coming. Please drive safe. I look forward to seeing you all at the next event.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate you and everything you did this weekend.
I was pretty sure he was going to interview Mike.
I think everybody's pretty wiped out and ready to go home, though, too.
I think I am. Wait, I'm already home. So are you?
Yes, I am. I'm ready to hit the showers. So that's our broadcast. 14 hours of racing, and it comes down to Flat Out Racing taking the win again with their SC300 2 years in a row. So special congratulations goes off to those guys. And I think we should do this again sometime, Doc. What do you think?
Oh, what the hell?
Why not, right?
Why not?
All right, so until next time, for Doc Waldrop of Brew Crew Racing and Bill Strong, I'm Paul Veltum. We'll see you at the next race, folks. Take it easy.
Good night.
You are watching the ChumpCar World Series broadcast, ChumpCast Live.